McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Friday, the 13th of November. Feel Good Friday starts right now. What a night last night. The Indianapolis Colts, led by Phillip Rivers and Nyheim Hines, and a special teams unit that was hunting Daniel's punts. Get a big W in the AFC South. Thursday Night Football has been filled with bad football games. Last night felt like it was going to be a great football game, and in the first half, it was close. Then in the second half, the Indianapolis Colts go for it 3 times in one drive on 4th down, much like they did in the first quarter, going for it 2 times on 4th down, and getting it, though, in the second half. Then they score. Then they get a shanked punt. Then they score again. Then they get a blocked punt. Then they score again. Then Jacoby Brissett getting paid $20 million. QB sneaks one in. Congrats to the Indianapolis Colts getting back on track, regaining dominance of the AFC South, and the Tennessee Titans having a lot to figure out with their team since losing Taylor Lewan. Now, this is a conversation that should be had, especially after the conversation we had yesterday with Taylor Lewan. He is an incredibly entertaining human being. He has a lot of tattoos. I think he has to add a Pat McAfee Show 2.0 tattoo.
That's right.
I'm not 100% sure if we officially agreed to that or not, but he says he gets random things tattooed, so maybe that will pop in there into his body. And his right-hand man tattoo is one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my entire life. Maybe the hardest I've laughed on this show too, and I think in my head right there, I was just trying to cycle. Whenever I told him that the mustache wasn't his, because he did start claiming that he made the mustache tattoo or whatever, and I was like, whoa, Taylor, like, great minds think alike, and have been doing that for 100 years or something like that. But because I've always wanted that tattoo, that was going to be my first tattoo. I was actually going to have Tim Howard do it, and then him immediately, perfect timing, going, yeah, but right hand man is mine. I'm like, yeah, that was just like such a moment. Like, I really enjoyed that. I laughed very hard, and that whole thing. But them losing him, and if you take into account the conversation that we had with him yesterday and how jovial he is, it feels like he probably gets along with a lot of people. Losing that inside the locker room, problematic, okay? Having your leader, a person who is one of your best players and is also a big glue guy in the locker room, losing that guy in your locker room, problematic, especially if your offense is a run-first offense, but Ryan Tannehill's having a great year, offensive line. There's a lot of things that go into that, having that just paramount position group being one of your leaders of your team, and that's the left tackle and Taylor Lewan doing that. So not only off the field, him not being there, but on the field, he was an all-pro left tackle, and it has been problematic for the Tennessee Titans since he has left. They have not been the same team. Now, the Colts also have been very inconsistent. I don't think anybody knew what was going to happen last night. Everybody knew their defense was going to be good, but what type of Phillip Rivers would show up? I said yesterday and started kind of thinking about it. If the Tennessee Titans can't get any pressure on Phillip Rivers, that sumbitch, dadgummit, will stand in the pocket and just deliver the rock. And he did just that. He threw over 300 yards, had a touchdown last night. Our guy, Nyheim Hines, on his birthday. Happy birthday, Nyheim, by the way. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Nyheim. Congrats. 115 total yards, 2 touchdowns. That was one of the easiest predictions of all time. Normally, people are going to play well on their birthday. Now, the thing that's going to be interesting going forward about Nyheim Hines, if you're a Colts fan or watch the Colts at all, and by the way, I said this to Nyheim Hines, I was like, I don't think a lot of people know you exist, but here in Indianapolis, we are very appreciative because he's normally like the third running back that they work in. The third, and every time he gets on the field, he's a burst. Like, it is 21 gets the ball, something good's happening. So much so that to put him at punt return, he was not always a punt return for us. I don't know if he did that before, but it's because he got that quick twitch. Last night, I think he showed like, hey, maybe not third option, maybe not second option. Maybe you have me in the game. Every time he gets in, he's a burst, he's a spark. He has been that way since he got on the Colts. But last night, primetime game on his birthday, it really was like, hey, he's hot, let's keep feeding him. And they kept that going, where in the past, he'd come in, get hot, then they take him back out again, and then they bring him in as like a curveball whenever Jonathan Taylor or Wilkins Lyons or Marlon Mack, or I don't know, he wasn't there with Frank Gore, but there was just a litany of running backs that would always seem to get the majority. And then when he came in, it was like a spark, and then they go away from him, and then they go back to the original plan. Last night, he came in, was a spark, and they kept going to him. I think he has earned that. Okay, I'm not saying Jonathan Taylor hasn't. I think Jonathan Taylor's really good. I think Wilkins is very good. But I think Nyheim Hines, a guy who I think I like a lot more, especially after coming on our show, and anybody that can land a round-off McTwisty thing whenever you're in full pads probably should look at that guy being a great athlete. Yep. I think he earned, last night on Thursday Night Football primetime television, a lot more reps. I think he earned the Brock. And by the way, that might help the offense out a lot. If Nyheim Hines in that Indianapolis Colts offense becomes that, because their running game was not great, by the way, going into the game last night, even though they have a great offensive line. If Nyheim Hines becomes the guy, that offers you a lot of spark out of the backfield, a la Alvin Kamara. He can catch the ball, he can move, he can make plays in open space, and he runs hard. The Colts might have figured it out last night against the Tennessee Titans. Now, I'm not saying the Colts offense. I'm not saying that the Tennessee Titans defense is one of those defenses where you're like, okay, if you do well against this defense, you're going to be able to do well. But I think it is one of those defenses where you can kind of figure out, oh, what are we good at here? And this is kind of, I think what they figured out last night was obviously if we can protect Phil, we can do this. This Nyheim Hines guy is a spark. Michael Pittman Jr., he's very good. Let's hope he can stay healthy. I'm not 100% sure if he can. He is a rookie. He's already been hurt. I hope he stays healthy. He's good. T.Y. Hilton was getting loose a little bit. Mo Alley Cox in replacement for Jack Doyle, who was out with a concussion. He could have scored a touchdown last night. Philip Rivers chose not to throw him the ball. I mean, there is a chance that this Colts team can really go and take over the AFC South. And if they do that, good news for Philip Rivers, because everybody knows Tom Brady want to come here, and the Colts said absolutely not. So that's our big takeaway from Thursday Night Football on this Feel Good Friday. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. We're going to have conversations with you on the Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Feel Good Friday that we have going. We have David Faraday joining us, golf legend. He'll be talking about the Masters that are currently happening with an update from our friend at Tone Diggs. What's going on at the Masters right now?
DJ was the leader yesterday. He's still in the lead. Oh, he's tied for the lead. He was 10 under today, but he's now dropped back down to 8 under. He's still in the lead, though. Tiger is -4. He doesn't tee off until like 2:30, I think.
He tees off this afternoon, 2:30. It's going to get dark early, so they might have to. They're doing a lot of discussions about maybe having to carry days into Saturday and into Sunday, and then even maybe a Monday potential finish. I mean, there's a lot of things happening because you see the sun in November. Oh. Yeah, because like in April, you see, sun says, hey, I want to hang out a little bit.
Ooh,
you know, like, hey, how's it going?
this.
But when you get in November and you do that time thing where you go from Eastern Daylight Time to Eastern Standard Time, the sun just says, yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. And they head out. It heads out. So I think they're going to run against the clock a little bit. That 2:30 tee off for Tiger will be interesting to see if he finishes there. If they have any other rain delays like they had yesterday, it'll be intriguing to see how the Masters figures it out, because it is the Super Bowl of golf. But all the big name players are playing well. Dustin Johnson playing well, great news. Tiger Woods playing well, epic news. Epic news. So let's keep it going. Can't wait to watch it. We'll talk to David Faraday about all of that, how the golf world feels about how the Masters is handling this November start time. Super Bowl in November, not a bad thing. Will they continue to do this going forward? Definitely not. How do we talk about it now? How are they handling it now? And what are they looking forward to for this weekend? The NFL has how many games at 1 o'clock, Tone?
5.
And how many games at 4 o'clock?
6.
And I believe that decision was made strictly because the Masters are happening. Let's go ahead and get some more games in the afternoon so that we can watch this Sunday morning Masters. And I'm only saying that because Roger Goodell was reportedly yesterday walking around Eldrick Woods with a big stogie in his hand next to Peyton and Rob Manfred. And I wonder if there's a couple conversations ever had, like, it'd be pretty cool to walk around down here. Sunday, right? Yeah. All right, let's move a majority of the games to the afternoon then. Let's keep the 1 o'clock slate kind of open so that we can maybe do both. Awesome for us sports fans. Can't wait to chat to David Faraday about that. And in the third hour, we have Trent Dilfer joining us. This is his high school that he is currently a coach, the Lipscomb Academy down there in Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, shout out to Nashville, great town. Your team got mocked last night, but Lipscomb Academy's doing some things. We'll talk to him about, how's his team doing? How's coaching going? What do you think about NFL quarterbacks? What do you think about the future going forward? The guy you trained going into the draft, Tua, he came out and lit it up against Arizona. Should we expect the same type of performance going forward? How do you feel about the other young quarterback that he'll be playing against this weekend, Justin Herbert? The Herbert seems to be making all the plays as well. We'll talk to Trent Dilfer about that and more. We were supposed to have Josh Allen on today.
Really?
Really? Oh. Yeah, I was like, really. We're kind of keeping it a surprise, by the way, because of the incredible relationship Bills Mafia and myself have over Josh Allen.
Sure.
So we're going to have Josh Allen on today. His people reach out to us. They passed or something, or they want to move it to the forward. At Tone Diggs normally has
they want to just push it out because of stuff that he was dealing with his grandma and stuff like that.
Long week. They wanted to make it a lighter week, everything like that. Sure. We'll reschedule that for the future at some point, but I was pumped for Bills Mafia to hear the conversation between Josh Allen and I, because I think Josh Allen's a cool guy. That'll have to happen sometime in the future. And we'll have some of your phone calls. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6 at Tone Diggs. The Masters is going well. You're enjoying it. You got a great hat on here for Feel Good Friday. What are your thoughts, Bob?
Thank you. The thoughts are that this has been such an incredible week of sports, and it continues. Like, we had Monday Night Football, we had Tuesday Night action, we had Wednesday Night action, we had Wednesday Night NXT. Thursday, we had Thursday Night Football and the start of Masters. Now we have Masters and college football again tonight, and college football Saturday, and NFL on Sunday. Wow. I mean, we are in the middle of it, and it's awesome.
But then you got Monday Night Football as well. Right. I mean, it's just, we are in the middle of a time that we only dreamt about whenever we were in the middle of the complete sports stoppage at the beginning of it. We talked about how these leagues were coming out and they're talking about, we're planning on doing this and we're planning on doing this. And we had the realization, we're like, there's going to be a week where, and if, by the way, there's a chance now, I guess not. We said college basketball could potentially be happening as well. The sweep of sports this week has been electrifying. I mean, absolutely electrifying. It's hard to keep up with all of it. So you just got to pick and choose. The Masters people got to be pumped that Tiger's playing well, so that more people are potentially picking and choosing the Masters. Because tomorrow, college football, I think there's 15 games being postponed, 4 of them being in the SEC. Like, there's a lot, or 15 teams maybe, huh?
I think it's like 15 games. I saw another one.
There was another one today.
Pac-12 this morning got canceled.
Herm has COVID.
So, no, Herm does. Friend of the show, Herm. Take it. Hey, be safe over there, Herm. Okay, that team had a hell of a first outing against USC, so I hope he's okay. But there's 15 games being postponed. If Tiger's in the hunt, more people on Saturday are gonna be like, why don't we go watch the Masters real quick? And then if Tiger's not in the hunt, I would assume people would be like, there's got to be another shitty college football. So it's very, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things happening here on what gets your time, what gets your attention. And I think we, the fan, get to benefit from it immensely.
I think I saw this morning that anytime that this is the tied for the best first round that Tiger's ever had at the Masters. Anytime that he's shot 70 or under, though, he's had a top 10 finish. So it bodes well for the weekend, him being in it all weekend.
Oh, stats normally tell the whole story.
You would think.
Trends and things like that. Joining us today from Canada, a man who has a great beard, at Bubba Gumpino. Yesterday on Hammer, Don, myself, Tone Diggs, and Michael Lombardi were all like, okay, we're on the Colts for a lot of reasons. I mean, we have a commercial today where yesterday everything that I said basically was going to happen in the game happened in the game, and some guy hammered the parlay and made a shit ton of money off it. Like, shout out to you, guy. I appreciate that guy trusting me more than me.
Hell yeah.
And then it actually just happened or whatever. And then Michael Lombardi came in with some number. He was like, hey, listen, and also this and this and this and this. And Tone's like, well, and it says this, the reverse money line, it says that we should go with the Colts. And Gumpy on Hammered Don yesterday. Okay, the show is 30 minutes long, Monday, Thursday, Friday, youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show, also available as a podcast afterwards. Gumpy for what? 30-minute show. 27 minutes, just read off a bunch of stats yesterday about how the fucking Tennessee Titans were just going to go. So I just want it to be known, although the stats say Tiger should be in the top 10 with how he started, he's going to go out there and prove it.
Well,
he's
true.
Go out there
Exactly right.
Just like you, Gumpy. All your stats can say whatever narrative you want to push, pal, but they'll bite you in the ass if they don't go out there and prove it, pal.
Yeah, a team actually has never won on Thursday night after a 17-yard punt and a block punt for a touchdown.
My stats are completely objective.
Good nuke right there. That is a good Gumpy nuke right there. Hey, that was a bad punt there, okay? You're going to have that every once in a while. Every once in a while, you're going to shank one. You just got to hope that you're not backed up when you do it, because then you're just giving away points. And that goes to a theory that a lot of people say, like, the pressure is in kicking or whatever. It's like, if you don't think there's pressure in punting, like, when you're punting and you're backed up and you're in your own territory, you had a bad ball, like that's points for the other team. So although it isn't immediately affecting like a kicker does, there's a lot of things that can take place. Trevor Daniel last night, he had a shank and then a block, and that's just a tough go there. Trevor Daniel, by the way, he is University of Tennessee's punter back in the day. There's videos of him like winning a game from a big monster punt, pinning somebody in at the Florida, probably. Who's Tennessee's big rival? I don't know.
Florida, Georgia,
something along that line. He had a big punt there. He then goes to Houston, he retires Shane Leckler, if you do recall. Because the Houston Texans basically told Shane Leckler, get the fuck out for him. Now, obviously, it didn't work out at Houston. He's here at Tennessee after Ryan Allen was punting last week after Brett Kern, who's one of the best to ever do it, has been sidelined with an injury. Last night, punter in the special teams affected that outcome mightily, and the over-under bet that Diggs decided to hammer the under on was completely wiped out. Anytime you have a 17-yard punt in your own territory, that's points for the other team, and a block punt, scoop, and score for a touchdown. Obviously, that is also points for the other team. And anytime you hear that word points come up a couple times, that under bet's normally going to be in the middle of what we like to call fuckville.
Yeah, I mean, it went over by 2.5 points.
You're the mayor!
I am the mayor of that town.
Yeah. Well, hey, good news, though. The donation you gave to that random person that decided to take the donation out of your car.
Yeah.
So you got nothing out of it, right? Because
exactly
you caught him. Right?
Well, I was able to close all my accounts, so they didn't get any money out of my accounts, but they still have my computer and my backpack and everything.
Your Bible?
My backpack.
His Bible's in the
My
back.
Bible,
James
my Bible was
By the way, would have been the most Diggs comment of all time to go, oh, they do have my laptop, my Bible, and
my Bible does not leave my bedside table.
of course not. But that's why you got to have two, obviously, like myself and at Boston Connor. We have one for the road.
Pocket as well.
Patriots, Ravens, Sunday Night Football. Ravens have a potential COVID outbreak happening. They're down Ronnie Stanley, I believe, after last weekend. I mean, there's a lot of reason to think that the Patriots can keep this game close. But after Bill Belichick just continues to absolutely dunk on reporters up there in Boston, do you think he knows what you should know, which is basically like this year's pretty much mail it in, pal?
I've never really got into a game like this and thought to myself, like, I probably should bet on the Ravens because it feels like even without Staley, we're going up against backup linemen against the Jets and we still really couldn't stop the run. So it feels as though the Ravens might win by 28 points, unfortunately.
But and you were saying this off air because I don't want you to completely discredit yourself as a Patriots fan. You were saying off air, if anybody can figure it out, though, Bill could figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just reset the season, so we're 1-0, still undefeated going into this game. But it's going to be very tough to stop Lamar Jackson. Our defense was levels better last year, and we lost 37-20. So it really does. There's not too much confidence going up against the number one rushing team in the NFL.
Well, I think the Baltimore Ravens offense last year was much different than it is potentially this year. And everybody's like, well, it's because Lamar. It's like Marshall Yonda. Like, this is just like the Taylor Lewan thing down in Tennessee. When you got a guy on that offensive line, not only does it help because he's physically good, but the amount when Quentin Nelson arrived for the Indianapolis Colts offensive line, Anthony Costanzo, who was already a very good player, became like 2 times as good just because you have a guy in it. Yonda was the guy amongst the guys who we talk about as being the guys. Like, this is the guy. So I think that was a tough thing to have to replace. And now there's reports Lamar Jackson was on Rich Eisen's show, Rich, friend of the show, who basically said, like, yeah, people are guessing exactly what we're going to do. Our offense is getting a little stale. It's like, well, Lamar, I mean, that's an interesting quote. I saw it at the bottom of the ticker or whatever. Is Lamar tells Rich Eisen's show that people are starting to call out what offenses they're running. It's like, did Lamar say that as like a joke, or how'd that all come about? Because if that's the case, I mean, I would assume that's an interesting couple meeting days. Maybe they do revamp the offense and change it, which could be problematic for the Patriots. I mean, who knows how this whole thing plays out. But I think the Marshall Yonda loss, and I've said this since the beginning, is going to be a lot bigger than people could really account for.
Yeah, and luckily we do get our guy back on the D-line, Larry Guy, and I do believe that Stephon Gilmore will be playing on Sunday as well.
Patriots all-decade team member Larry Guy.
Superstar.
Former teammate of mine, friend of the show.
Yep.
At Ty Schmidt, Green Bay Packers this weekend. How do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to fare?
Well, again, it's supposed to be windy, rainy, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think it matters. I expect Rodgers to throw for at least 3 touchdowns. It's kind of nice. The Jaguars, you're not looking past them, but you're expecting to win and win handedly.
And if you're the Packers, right? I mean, you already had a game where you got punched in the mouth.
Exactly.
So are you past the point of potentially like not playing your best games? For instance, Steelers this weekend. Steelers are playing the Bengals. Steelers should beat the Bengals. But the Steelers should have beat the Dallas Cowboys by 50 last week, and they played very bad. Did that game, even though they won, was that a big enough smack in the mouth to be like, hey, we've watched tape, and this Cincinnati Bengals offensive line cannot protect Joey Burrow against any D line that can cause any bit of hell? we should sack Joey Burrow 10 times. That's probably an actual. There should be 8 to 10 sacks this weekend on Joey Burrow. If you've seen the way he's gotten beat up, and Ben Roethlisberger, if you and the offense can't move here, we should think about maybe mailing it. I think that is a potential message that's being sent around that thing. Like, we stole a win against Gary Gilbert. We should not have won that. Is that enough to wake them up against the Bengals? I think that's a big story to be told. And for the Packers, it's like, is what happened to Tampa Bay or what happened to the Vikings at home, is that enough for you to view the Jaguars as a team like, hey, let's come out here and let's dominate this team? Or is it the NFL and every team is being paid to play football and they can just sometimes have a good game? Those are all reasons why none of these things are short bets like the Steelers and Kansas City Chiefs teaser I had last week.
And I assume it'll be big for the defense because if it is very windy and very rainy, the Jaguars do have a pretty good rookie running back, and I assume that they're going to be, getting a steady helping of that. So,
can he stop the run? We shall see. Before we get to a break here and then have David Faraday on the show, at Viva Lazito, our man on the couch, has a big poll for today. Zito, what are the what's the update on your big poll, bud?
Yeah, so today's a situational poll. You're at the 40-yard line, only a minute 32 on the clock, and there's no timeouts, and you're down 5. Which rookie quarterback are you trusting to win you the game? We have Justin Herbert, Tua, Joey Burrow, Jordan Love.
Ooh, good question. What's Jordan Love's numbers at right now?
Jordan Love is at 5.3%.
Okay. All right.
Tua's at 10.7%. Justin Herbert, 37.9%. And Joey Burrow, 46%, leading it all.
Jordan Love and Tua.
Gumpy.
Yeah,
neck and neck.
Gumpy.
What the hell is that all about, Gump?
Tua feeds off this disrespect.
Yeah, he does. He said he doesn't know if he'll ever be the old Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Was that a bad thing? I don't know.
Time to evolve, Tua.
Zito, also, the situational poll that you have up there,
Did I spell something wrong?
clearly.
What did I spell wrong?
The second word there.
Situational.
That would be the first word.
Oh, dyslexic, sorry. No, that's poll. That's how we do it here.
Okay. All right. Let's get to a break. David Faraday joins us on the other side.
Massive poll.
Super Bowl golf is happening right now. We'll talk to him about that. Dustin Johnson now tied for the lead. Tiger Woods, how he feels about that. How about Augusta with no patrons?
Well said.
Thank you.
Patrons.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Thank you. There's a list of words I'm not allowed to say this weekend.
Is that right?
I don't know them all, but I do know that is one of them. The rest will be sent to me. That should go well. We got a break. Then David Faraday. Then your phone calls. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Friday the 13th. Ooh. I like the Colts even more now because Phil, people are saying he's inaccurate and he's like, like a lot of Billy McComas obviously said that, but also a lot of people around Indianapolis, like the guy, I think last week, he puts the ball like in a bucket if he has to. Like that is one of his strengths. So if he has time and he can digest the defense and he gets a chance to like pick some things apart, look for Mo Alley Cox. Is he playing tonight? Look for him to have a big night, I'd assume, because Jack Doyle's out. He's a tight end. If T.Y. is going to get loose, let's go. Is Michael Pittman? I like the Colts all of a sudden night. And it's Nyheim Hines' birthday. Assume he's going to get loose on a punt return or a kickoff return or maybe even out of the backfield. Okay, I like the Colts tonight all of a sudden.
Okay.
What's his pressure? Okay. Oh my God! Best sign spinner in the world! At least now he says, that was unbelievable. Bro, thank you for what you just did right there. What's your name?
Mike.
Mike, where are you from?
Right here in Los Angeles.
That was fucking awesome to watch. Good luck out there. They should be paying you more.
Tune in for the World Sign Spinning Championship in Vegas.
There's a World Sign Spinning Championship?
In Vegas.
Are you like a national, are you a champion?
I rank.
You rank? What do you rank?
I got 8th in the 2013 if I'm not mistaken.
What do we have to do to get better? How do we get to first place? What's the new move? What's the new move? Maybe light it on fire.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We will prove our halves this way.
I don't know how you're 8th in the world. You should be number 1. And if I was leasing a place, I'm fucking coming here. Oh my.
McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Colin Henry, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Somebody sent us a Twitter video listening to this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I just want to make a living. I just want to do it right.
right?
I'm just trying to take what isn't given past the oversight.
Oh,
I'm just trying to make it killing. Didn't happen overnight.
No
They
way.
talk about my name so much they start to get over. I gotta ask you, what's your motivation?
Oh, they're talking about his name so much they got over. They're talking Colin Henry. You know what I mean?
Riches, is it gold? Is it something you can find within your soul? I gotta ask you, what's your motivation?
Hey, shout out to that guy for that song. That's great. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee here. Feel Good, Friday the 13th of November. Joining us now is a man who was on the Masters broadcast team for like 50 years or something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, golf legend David Faraday. You're muted. You're muted. You say, I know it sounds good, whatever's coming out of your mouth. We can't hear it, though. Just want to let you know that we cannot hear. You look amazing. The hair is flowing. That was on our... How are you, Dave?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound amazing, as we expected. How are you, boss? It's the Super Bowl of golf, right? That's what I should be calling this?
Well, I don't think so. I am actually a little nervous about this because it's been so long since I've worked that I've been half man, half mattress for about 7 months. So is there a tournament on this week?
Yeah, I do believe there is. I want to let you know, if you've been half man, half mattress, this is a good look. The hair flow is unbelievable.
Yeah, the hair, the beard, the pubes, everything, it's just going out of control.
The Masters in November. Your initial thoughts here. We're making it happen, obviously, because it wasn't available to happen in April. What are your opening thoughts here now that we're about a day and a half into this thing?
Well, I'm not surprised at all that Tiger Woods has shown up with a pretty good attitude, a pretty good game. This is the one that puts a tilt in his kilt, Pat. It means so much to him, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see him in the shake-up come Sunday afternoon. The golf course is what we've all been wondering what it's going to look like. It's all the same color, which is unusual. The light is different. No fans. There are no roars and whatever. It's kind of surreal, to be honest with you. And there's rough. Never mind your second cut. That's rough we're talking about this year, which is, it's the tallest I've seen.
Is it more, so it's much harder to golf, you think, this year down there than it was ever in time in the past?
Well, no, it's not, because the golf course is playing long, and that's kind of counterintuitive. If a golf course plays long, it should be harder, but Augusta is not like that. if it's hit and stop, and you can see the ball isn't going far when it hits the fairway, it's hitting stone dead, it's stopping on the greens. And that's what makes Augusta easier. And that's why the scoring is so good. When it's short and bouncy, that's when Augusta is a nightmare, because, if you miss a green, it goes miles away into awkward spots, and players have real trouble getting it up and down. So, this year, the way that it's playing, it wouldn't surprise me to see a very low score that wins it.
The boys are throwing darts out there, Dave. They're throwing darts out there on the.
Exactly.
Yeah. Boom. That's a good golf analogy I just had right there. I'm not a big golf guy. Why is the Masters, I'll watch, I enjoy playing it, but I'm not like a diehard. We have a couple in the office that are, live and die with the golf world, but why is the Masters the Super Bowl? What is it? Why is it the big one? Because of Augusta and how beautiful it is, or what is it about it?
Well, it depends where you come from as well, Pat. For some people, the Open is the biggest. For some people, the U.S. Open is the biggest. And, the PGA Championship has always been, the one that, which is maybe a little unfair, is sort of the little brother to the U.S. Open. But it depends where you come from. The one thing about the Masters that makes a difference is it comes back to the same golf course every year. It's the only major championship that does that. So over the last, 75 years, or people have become familiar. Everyone knows what that shot from the top of the hill at the 15th down to that little sliver of a green over the water. Everybody knows what it looks like. They halfway know to expect. 16, the par 3, 13, the par 5. These are holes that are sort of ingrained in people's memories. So it's kind of like the Kentucky Derby. Or the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah.
People that aren't interested in NASCAR will watch that race. People that aren't interested in horse racing will watch the Kentucky Derby.
David,
who are
I
not that interested in golf will watch the Masters.
I got to stop you right there. You're right about that last point. Everything you've said has been amazing, but you cannot say the Indianapolis 500 is NASCAR. You will not be. You will not be welcomed in India. It's IndyCar. It's Indy. It's the Rockets. It's the ones that go 220, 230 miles an hour. It isn't the taxi cab NASCARs. These are rocket ships, David. That's why people watch Indy 500, because these women and men strap themselves to actual rockets and try to go 500 miles, and it always ends with at least 3 catastrophes, and then somebody at the end's dumping warm milk on their face. And there's 300,000 people there, and about 210,000 of them have no idea a race is happening, because there is a rave happening in the inside. So, I just had to correct you there. I'm sorry. We're in Indy. Couldn't let you get away with it, David. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, no, I know. But I'm showing my Irishness. That's like football for me. After 27 years of being in this country, I still... I get, he fumbled in the pocket. The guy doesn't even have any pockets. What the
hell? David, the coverage that you were a part of for the Masters was extensive. Over 2 decades here, we read on the internet. Not 100% sure if what the number is exactly. That's a long time down there. They talk about the mystique of the place, like cheese sandwiches, and like there's basic chicken sandwiches and the cookies and stuff. What? And then you hear people like Peyton Manning, Roger Goodell, and Rob Manfred were allegedly walking and following Tiger yesterday, and their members there. Like, is it strictly because of how big the Masters is that everybody wants to be there? Is the course nicer than other courses? Is it like how it operates? Is it just like what? You know what I mean? I don't think I am explaining that right, but what makes that place everywhere else? Because I've been to a couple country clubs before. I've gotten asked to put shoes on in places you can't golf barefooted here, sir. Like, there's a lot of places I've been that have nice in the golf world, but they always talk about the mystique of Augusta and how it's impossible to become a member and everything like that. Can you speak about that whole part of it?
Well, there's, you're right. Mystique is the right word. If you come in through the gates, if you've got a ticket, and you have a can of Coke, they will take that can of Coke from you and pour it into a green Masters cup. That's the sort of extent. If you go to Google Earth, this is kind of frightening. If you go to Google Earth, you can look at your own house
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you might even see your dog in the backyard, and you can try this. Go to Google Earth and pull up Augusta National. It's pixelated. These people control the satellite. Or you might get a picture that's a year old, whatever, but it's not, inside the bamboo. And there's bamboo kind of all around the golf course. It's an impenetrable jungle. It's just, it's a different place. It really is. And when you walk onto the grounds, I only got to play in the tournament once. But I did 19 years as a broadcaster, and there's a special feeling when you get onto the grounds at Augusta National. You're someplace special. It's almost like a Salvador Dali painting. Yeah, it's surreal. You expect to see a clock dripping out of a pine tree.
Well, I view Bob Ross paintings that way, but I do understand that whole thing. Whenever you were talking about it, was there certain words you're not allowed to say? Because I'm not even 100% sure, I'm potentially on College Game Day tomorrow, and they're at the Masters. And there was somebody who was reaching out, and they were like, hey, there's some things you're not allowed to say or whatever, so we have to go through that. And I'm like, well, I can't say them. I'm in Indianapolis. I'm not even there. They're like, yeah, just the way it's kind of how. Was there things you weren't allowed to say or things you had to describe differently? Like what is something I have no idea what it could be. Like, I have no idea what I could potentially. Is there any heads up you can give me there so I don't offend an entire golf community fan base there?
Pat, I can guarantee you, if you were down there and doing any kind of a broadcast, the over-under will be about 11 seconds. Yeah. There are a number of things, but the terminology is one of the things that sets Augusta apart. They're bunkers. They're not sand traps. That's a no-no. Yeah, it's not the backside or the back nine. It's the second nine. We're as broadcasters informed that this is the way we're supposed to describe the golf course. At one point in a meeting, we were told that they're not bleachers. They're not bleachers. They're patron observation posts.
Oh. Man, all these things I'm going to cut into the promo tomorrow.
I would rather have a 6-inch nail driven through my bag than describe bleachers as patron observation posts. But, it's a special place. They have different rules. You feel different when you get there, and it's a tournament that everybody loves to watch, because it's part of it's an American institution, and Augusta National is a national treasure.
Well, the SEC this year, a lot of people are saying it's big difference because there isn't a lot of people in the patron observation posts that are surrounding every single field that we have in the SEC. And I think the Masters can be the exact same. They say the roars aren't there from the patron observation posts whenever Tiger doesn't hit it into a bunker. And once he gets onto that second nine wearing a red shirt, it's like what Mac Jones looks like in the second half with Steve Sarkisian's offense. I would go into that. Hell yeah. It's an entire thing I would do. And it would make zero sense, but I would do it strictly to do such a thing. David, I appreciate that heads up. Tone Diggs, what do you got?
David, how do you think the people at Augusta feel about John? I'm not sure if he's doing it this year. John Daly parking his tour bus outside of Augusta at the Hooters and signing autographs and stuff there.
Great business.
Well, I don't think that Johnny is there this year. He may be, but he's not the only one that parks a tour bus or whatever. Some of the players travel in these RVs and that kind of thing, but Johnny is the only one that parks outside Hooters and sells merchandise, T-shirts and things like that. So it's not to be disparaging about Augusta. It's a special place, especially at this time of the year. But one of the reasons that there isn't a blimp at Augusta is they really don't want anybody to see what's outside the bamboo. The Hooters, the topless taco stand, the rest of Augusta, essentially.
Is that why the Google Maps thing is pixelated? That's pretty interesting that they can put that Bigfoot filter on that thing immediately.
Yeah.
Good for them, man. Who wins it, you think? Dustin Johnson's playing really well. I guess he had a couple bogeys. He was at 10, now he's at 8. Him
and Justin Thomas are tied for the lead at 8 under.
So they're at 8. How do you see this thing playing out? Obviously, Tiger being in the hunt has always got to be a worry for everybody, but how do you see this thing unfolding over the weekend? Maybe even into Monday, I've been told or assumed if the darkness catches up in this second group here.
Well, it's so hard to pick a winner, especially this early in the tournament. But I picked Justin Thomas before the tournament began, but I really, really like Tiger Woods because nothing puts the tilt in his kilt like this tournament. His desire to win, his desire to get that record to tie Nicklaus. It's difficult to overstate how much he wants that. And when he wants something, he has a long history of getting it. The only mistake, and I've made a few of them, made it a few times, rather, I have with Tiger Woods over the years, and I've watched him grow up on the golf course. Really, it's 25 years of it is underestimating him. He's the most extraordinary golfer who has ever lived. And he really wants this. And it would surprise me, Pat, if he is not in the shake-up, come Sunday afternoon.
The shake-up means the few that can really win this thing.
Yes. No. Dustin Johnson has more talent in his little fingernail than I ever had. If he plays well, he's going to be very hard to beat. We've got Justin Thomas up there. We've got a number of terrific players. Xander Schauffele, who's won big tournaments. Justin Rose, who's a U.S. Open winner. We've got Lee Westwood and Paul Casey, the two Englishmen that are so popular out there. It's just fascinating to watch. It's one of those great American events that is one of the very few sporting events that I watch on television. And I work at this crap.
All right, David, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming out of hibernation for us, by the way. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to see you. Give Romy my best.
Hey, you too, man.
All right.
David Faraday.
Yeah!
Come on, David. Woo! That NASCAR thing, by the way, we've already run into problems with Indianapolis as a whole, as our company, as of very late. But if I don't stop him there after saying NASCAR for the Indianapolis 500, there's a chance we might not even be able to get outside today.
Oh, yeah. Be eviscerated.
Hey, it's Indy cars, okay? These are rocket ships, all right? These ain't souped up Shelby Mustangs.
See, I figured he was a Formula One guy.
Yeah, which, by the way, if you are a Formula One guy, you know the...
right.
Yeah.
Terminology.
He's not, though. He's a golf guy. What do you want from him?
He's a golf guy.
He's a golf guy. Steve Levy worked on SportsCenter for 28 years. Said, hey, I'm not a golf guy.
Don't like
it. Keep me out of here. Golf's pretty cool, I guess. That Augusta thing's wild, though, man. But I guess if, Peyton's a member there and, heads of state.
Yeah.
Probably some interesting conversations going on in that place.
How the hell did Manfred get in there?
Rob Manfred, that is very. I wonder if it's like one of those titles, like if it comes with the position. Okay, you get a plane, okay, you get a membership at Augusta, and by the way, as soon as we fire you for one of the 5,000 mistakes you make a month, you will lose all these things. I wonder if that's just, you know what I mean? It just comes
temporary.
Like you just kind of grab it, you know what I mean?
Did you ever see the movie Dinner for Schmucks?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Kind of like that.
Great
Everybody
movie.
they invite one stooge friend, and then everyone just rips on that stooge friend, and it's for entertainment.
Oh, I think I was probably that person, by the way, a few times.
I was,
It was a good time, man. I think I converted him a little bit. I wonder if that probably was what it was, wasn't I? Huh. Kind of a good time. Does the guy put on a good show? Is the stooge friend that gets invited?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're thinking that's what you were with the Mannings? Is that what you're saying?
Well, and a couple other people now that I'm starting to think about
Well, there is a winner.
No, they
of dinner.
they don't like this guy, so it wasn't you.
Well, we don't know that. I mean, I've never seen the movie, but I would assume that guy potentially thought that they liked. Yeah, it could have been me, by the way.
Well, the best
that's
schmuck
pretty
wins.
good.
The best schmuck wins, and you might have won, too. I mean, there's no...
I felt like I put on some good performances at some dinners. There was those nights, some nights where you're really just rolling or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
There was a couple of those where the people that were in attendance, I was like, good day to be hot, pal. Good day to be hot. And then you cool off, and then your team cuts a guy.
Oh, jeez.
And then he goes to Denver.
Wins the Super Bowl.
Plays the best football he's ever played.
Plays in 2.
Wins the Super Bowl.
Plays in another.
Comes into an equipment room, say hello to people, gets kicked out by people. I mean,
Oh, really?
Painted over.
no, I don't know if he got kicked out, but I guess there were some real conversations that happened about having to getting him into certain rooms or whatever by some people. That was fucking wild. The dude was Peyton Manning, man.
Jesus.
They painted over his mural. Getting kicked out would have been nicer than
It wasn't just his mural, by the way. He was definitely on there a few times.
And he was pretty big on
But
that
it
thing.
we had to redo it. That was wild, man. Hey, I would like clear the air right now. I had nothing to do with the decision to cut Peyton Manning.
Nope.
Just want to make sure that everybody knows that.
Good to know.
That's good to know.
Good to
Hey,
know.
I voted no when I was asked.
You'd rather
go.
drive a 6-inch nail through your sack than cut Peyton Manning.
Yeah, dude. He said sack, and I was like, "Oh, there's a golf guy. He must be talking about like a golf sack." And then no, he's talking about he's talking about balls.
Nutsack, yeah.
Love David Faraday, man.
great.
What were you gonna say? You were gonna say something?
Nope, that was it.
All right, good. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Braden in Iowa. Braden, what's going on, bub?
What's up?
How's it
How's
going?
everyone doing?
Hey, not too shabby, Braden. How you doing out there in Iowa, pal?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm kind of with Ty, hoping to keep Floyd in Iowa today. So
Oh, yeah, Florida Rosedale. Iowa, Minnesota.
Hell
Big
yeah.
matchup
That game's
tonight.
happening today.
Tonight, baby.
Hey.
yep,
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
go Hawks, baby.
Go Hawks.
Oh, row the boat.
Hey, I have a question.
Go Hawks,
so
dude.
Oh, wow.
Come on, man.
I have somewhat of a weird question for one of my college papers, and we're supposed to ask someone in the career field that we're going into kind of some tips about things, and I'm going for journalism and communications, hoping to be kind of like a sports broadcaster. So I was
Here we go, baby. Go, dude. Great. Let's do it, bro.
what are some things that kind of garner respect and kind of build relationships with people that
I think just be a good guy, Braden. Hey, you be a good guy. You bring energy, Braden. And Adam Schefter told us this whenever he was on our show the first time. I said, hey, if there was somebody who wanted to get into the sports journalism field, which I believe is a question you just asked, what tip would you give them? And I think he said, do whatever you can to get in the door. And I think he meant that with the big networks is what he was referring to, like ESPN or Fox, that do whatever you can. But now that there's so many internet businesses that do this, if you get a chance to work with anybody that potentially has a big platform, like for instance, Barstool, if you get a chance to work with Barstool, you are getting put on a better position for your future than probably if you're having a very low job or position at one of the main networks, right? The Ringer does the same thing. There's a bunch of internet outfits that if you really want to go to work on social media and start garnering a little bit of a following, which is a good idea because then you put yourself in a position of leverage with people. And also you bring some things other than just what you say is you have a team of people that have been ride or die with you for whatever reason, nobody knows. I think that would be the right thing to do. If you just go to work on your social medias, your socials, figure out what works for you. You're probably going to suck a little bit, your thoughts early, or maybe you'll just hit immediately, but just kind of stick with it. And then also a little self-awareness, like not talking about what you don't know is probably a good idea. For instance, I just had a conversation with a guy named David Faraday, who's a golf expert, and the Masters are happening right now, and I alluded to him numerous times that I know no idea. I have no idea about golf. Like, I think that self-awareness is pretty key there, Braden. And also always be prepared. I think if a lot of people hear me or somebody else give a take off the top of the head, everybody thinks. But that was probably thought about while I was taking a shit maybe 3 days ago, and I was really thinking, it's like at all moments, and this is not great for a lot of other aspects of my life, my brain is two things. Like, okay, let's not piss off the wife. And then the other time is, how much information can I get into my brain right now so that if this ever comes up in conversation, I have a real opinion about it. I'm educated enough about it where I can speak about it knowing what could potentially piss off everybody. So it's like, okay, if this is going to piss off everybody, let's assume that that's not the right answer. So let's go ahead and do that. But that all comes with preparation. So that's what I would say, Braden. A lot of preparation time, which isn't necessarily hand or pen to pad or whatever. It's mostly just the amount of information that's out there. You can consume enough if you really have the wherewithal to do so, that you can be pretty well educated on damn near anything that you should talk about. Build your own brand. Do whatever you can to work with people that have done what you've done in the past. Or want to do in the past.
Hell yeah.
I think it's pretty good there.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was a very stupid question. Like, yo, just fucking go to work, dude. You know? Which is, by the way,
also
the easiest answer. Just go to work, man. Stop asking questions. Just go.
But I think it also could be tough because in college, like in that position, I'm sure like those departments and the professors are convincing those kids the only way they can be successful is if they go work at like a local news station and then like, come up that way. Like that's definitely the way it's being taught.
And you have to... This is the first thing you should do. Tonight, the Indianapolis Colts take on the Tennessee Titans in an AFC South showdown. What will Philip Rivers do? Have fun with his kids afterwards. We do know that. It's tough. They get put in a tough spot. Those local news get put in a tough spot.
Oh, yeah. Brutal.
Especially now with the way the internet is. When a local news shot makes its way onto the internet, it is a recipe for disaster. And there's nothing those local news people can do, by the way, because that's what that position has been since the beginning of local news and will be. And it's just not their fault how they're supposed to act. In the world, though, that is quickly happening, like the way you're supposed to act there is very mockable because everybody on Earth knows that that's fake.
Yeah.
It's like
Very much so.
You know what I mean? It's like it's a tough thing.
Change the recipe a little bit, maybe. And also probably focus on listening. Listening's pretty big.
Wow.
Oh, you were so stupid, dude. Let's get to Chris in Maine. What's going on, Chris? Things you can work on.
Things you can work on. I wish I knew that. But, I would have started back then.
Did you hear what this guy said?
He said, hey, what's going on, dude?
What's his name?
Let's go to Michigan.
It's Chris in Maine.
New England, too.
Chris, what do you want to talk about, brother?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hanging out, Chris. What's going on in your world, bud? Hey, cold as hell in Maine, yeah? Cold as hell?
No, not yet. Usually January, February gets pretty cold.
Wow. It's kind of everywhere.
But, but first things first, so I just actually moved here. I was in Orlando, and with COVID, hitting hard and taking control, businesses kind of slowed down. And when I was working for the Mouse, you get a lot of fans of your show while we were kind of slowed down. So thanks for being a distraction and a very welcome source of entertainment.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Yeah, Chris.
Shout out to the people, by the way, at the Mouse that are listening. We appreciate that. Thank you for listening, brother.
But hey, I wanted your professional opinion on Boston Robs. We're halfway through the season. Who's more responsible for the dynasty, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick?
Thank you, Chris. Great question.
You're never not big.
Boston Rob, dude. Bro. Boston Rob.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about me?
Yeah.
Who did you think he was talking about?
Well, I was trying to figure out what the Mouse was, and then I realized, Disney World.
Jeez.
Seriously, halfway through that.
So that's what happens is you do listen to a point, then you get stumped.
Shut it off.
Oh my God, what is he talking about?
And now you're Boston Rob.
I like Boston Rob. Might change the whole attire.
The question was, obviously, Bill Belichick or Tom Brady here probably deserves the credit for the last dynasty and who is going to fail more without the other side. I think that's still TBD, because the Patriots, especially with the playoffs being expanded, if the Patriots can get in the dance, you never know with a running quarterback, Bill Belichick, they might be able to do it. But it does feel like Tom Brady's having the immediate success, mostly because the team he went to is completely loaded, right? And it was set up for immediate success. And by the way, that's because Tom Brady's there that a lot of other people wanted to go. So you could say that he's potentially the reason why people were ring chasing to New England, which they were able to pay people at a limited price for the amount of goods that they were bringing. So maybe Tom Brady is a much larger reason of the dynasty than anybody's giving him credit for. But Bill Belichick's going to have to rebuild a team. I mean, that's just going to have to happen. Or he doesn't rebuild a team. It's up to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they got Cam Newton for this year only. They're going to have a lot of money next year. They're going to have a lot of moves that have to be made. He's going to rebuild. Tom didn't go to a rebuild. So we can't judge this fairly until we see what Bill Belichick does with the rebuild in 5 years. But since this is a daily show and we have to overreact to things immediately, fucking Tom Brady is crushing Bill Belichick since the breakup. I mean, Boston Rob, you have to agree with that.
I mean, as someone with the name Boston Rob, I would like to say I'm just curious to see who outlasts who. Who's going to last longer?
Yeah, it seems like Bill Belichick will because he doesn't have to do anything physically tasking. Hour one is wrapping up. We're back on the other side. You got 6 minutes. Go take a shit. This is the Pat McAfee Show. I'm picking the Colts too, by the way, just strictly because, I mean, I said I was going to stay away from it, but when you rattle off stats like that, the more and more I think about it, Darius Leonard, have you heard him mic'd up? Has anybody
I did
listened to
listen
him
this
mic'd
week,
up?
yes.
I've learned a lot about Darius Leonard. That defense last week's loss against the Baltimore Ravens was not to blame. Okay, the defense is very, very good. They're going to fly around, and with your thing about Taylor Lewan there, he was on our show. You could see how a team, not just on the field but off the field, could miss a Taylor Lewan being around. Maybe this is a different team than the team that it was. And Tannehill has had incredible stats. I mean, he is awesome, but I think the Colts defense is built for that type of thing. And will Phillip Rivers with a clean pocket, which I guess he potentially will if we listen to the narrative that the defensive line can't really get to the quarterback, which I guess there are some stats from our guy Gumpy that'll probably lead into that. I think Phillip Rivers has a big bounce back game too. He was a guy who had a bad game a couple weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and he said he read and listened to what everybody said about him. He said, "You guys are right," he said, or something like that. And it feels like after last week's game, with not being able to do much and getting beat there, and the tackle situation that happened with Phillip Rivers, with how competitive he is, I think Colts win tonight. Yeah, I got the Colts tonight. I like the Colts a lot. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I can get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, or maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who play for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure. That you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Yeah. Look, I just wanna make a living, I just wanna do it right. I'm just trying to take what isn't given past the oversight. I'm just trying to make a killing, didn't happen overnight. They talk about my name so much, they start to get over. I gotta ask you, what's your motivation? Are you driven, are you bold? Can you turn this into something on your own? I gotta ask you, what's your motivation? Is it riches, is it gold? Is it something you can find within?
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hour 2 on this Feel Good Friday the 13th. Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio begins right now. First hour had a lot of golf talk with David Faraday.
Hell yeah.
Talked about the Colts beating the dog shit out of the Tennessee Titans last night.
Yep.
Shout out Taylor Lewan for being a guest yesterday and potentially getting a Pat McAfee Show 2.0 tattoo on his body somewhere. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we ever formally agreed to that, but he says he just gets random tattoos. So if you just get a random one and that pops in your mind, hey, shout out you, dude.
Yeah,
shout out you, dude. Special teams came through big for the Colts last night against the Titans. And also Phillip Rivers threw for over 300 yards and a tutter. Naheem Hines on his birthday scored a couple touchdowns. I mean, it was a good night for the Colts and a good night for the AFC South on Thursday Night Football, which is normally a dud. Was a good game last night.
Great game.
A lot of magic happening, a lot of plays to be made, and now we got Masters updates, and we're rolling into a college football Saturday that has 15 games being postponed due to a COVID situation. But there's still a lot of college football. Hey, still a lot of college football.
A lot of college football.
Okay, just because there's I think there's like 60 games a weekend. So let's make sure we remember that too. Whenever we talk about the games that are out, we got to talk about the games that are in too.
This is Dominator.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We do know what you mean. But what I'm saying is a lot of great college football tomorrow, plus Masters week, Saturday or whatever, you know what I mean? Post cut. So that'll be great. Great golf. Then you got NFL Sunday. Ooh. 5 games at 1, 6 games at 4. Potentially doing that for us fans that also want to maybe bounce back and forth to the Masters, less games. I mean, very nice of the NFL to do that. We got a great little run we're going on. This is a good feel-good At Tone Diggs is here. At Boston Connor. Ty Schmidt. Viva Lazito has a big-ass poll on the internet right now. It is.
In a situational poll today, you're at your 40-yard line, and there's a minute 32 left on the clock. No timeouts. And you're down 5. Which rookie quarterback are you trusting? Jordan Love is last right now, 5.8%.
No.
Tua is at 11.7%. And then we got Justin Herbert, 36.4%. And Joey Burrow leading it all, 46.1%.
Tua's not getting a lot of respect in it. Now, granted, Jordan Love's getting no respect in this.
Yeah.
And that's tough. It's
wild.
No losses, the guy.
Yeah, he is an undefeated quarterback.
Yeah, first rounder.
He has never been defeated in the NFL.
Never will.
Tua Tagovailoa, though, I feel like it's getting a bit disrespected by the people here. How many votes are over 14,000? Over 14,000. Justin Herbert, 36.4%, and Joey Burrow, 46.1%. Joey Burrow, damn good. Joey Burrow also has been playing longer than anybody else on this list here. Justin Herbert goes in against the reigning defending undisputed Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs, on 15-minute notice whenever the Chargers doctor stuck a golf tee, shot to the Masters, through Tyrod Taylor's lung. And then Justin Herbert starting like, out of nowhere, and he's taking the world by storm. He's played great football. Justin Herbert's going to be awesome. Joey Burrow's been awesome. And I think if Tua Tagovailoa is anything like he was against the Arizona Cardinals, he deserves a lot more respect in this vote, in your big poll, Zito. Massive. And this has kind of been happening now. As a Dolphins fan, Gumpy's going to chime in here. And Gumpy couldn't have been more wrong last night about the Thursday Night Football game on podcast Hammer Down, but Gumpy's going to chime in. It feels like the conversation about Tua being Rookie of the Year, which we had on this show. And the reason why we had it on this show is because the conversation went, if Tua plays like he played against the Arizona Cardinals, he's probably going to win the Rookie of the Year, strictly because the Dolphins are the only team out of any team that has a rookie quarterback that could make the playoffs and go on a real run in that AFC East. That Buffalo Bills, by the way, Josh Allen's been very good, but that Dolphins team, if they play like they played against Cardinals, they're going to do well. Tua, I think, is not getting a lot of respect on Zito's poll, Gumpy.
The funny thing about this poll here, Pat, Justin Herbert had this exact same scenario last weekend against the Raiders.
What do you mean?
The exact same scenario. They didn't score, and they lost.
What do you mean?
Very close.
It was not his fault.
Not his fault, no.
On the 40 with a minute 30 left.
Yeah. It's not his fault, though.
Well,
I mean, he had 2 drops.
I mean, they did score, and then they took it away.
They took it away.
You know
and
what
they
I mean?
lost.
Oh, you're saying Tua would have went down there and did it, is what you're saying?
Tua's 2-0, took him down the field. They stopped the Cardinals, won the game.
Zane Gonzalez, though, I mean, he was short from 49. They go into overtime. True. Nobody's stopping Kyler there. I think now, granted, is anybody stopping Tua? Whoever wins the coin toss wins that game. Mm-hmm. Tua could be 1-1, and a guy missed a 49-yarder short at the second highest altitude in the NFL, which is a wild scene. Nobody would have expected that, especially if you had like a $71,000 parlay on the line with that whole fucking thing. But Tua was very good. I don't think a lot of people watched that game, by the way. I think that's potentially what happened, is not a lot of people actually got to watch Tua. I think they saw the stats, and they're probably, maybe mesmerized by it, but Tua was making great decisions. Yeah. Like, great. Decision-making was great. He looked faster than he looked in college. He was slinging the ball, and he looked confident, and the team looked like they really liked. That was a battle, too, with Kyler. I mean, it was a real game, and he didn't back down one time. No moment looked too big for him. I think a lot of the question marks about him going into the draft or potentially into the season and him not starting, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick saying, my heart was broken, so he must not have looked good in practicing. I think all those questions were literally answered if you watch that game. It's like, if he can play like this, the Dolphins made a good decision. Now, Herbert's been unbelievable, and Tom Telesco, general manager of the Los Angeles Chargers, said that if Miami took Herbert, they were good with all 3 of the top 3 quarterbacks, Joey, Herbert, or Tua. So this weekend, when the Chargers play the Dolphins, it is very much did you make the right decision right now?
Who won?
And that is why this weekend's game is awesome, because I think they both have played incredible football, and I think the Miami Dolphins made the right decision either way they made. So I wonder if they were sitting back the same way Telesco was like, well, either 2 of these, and then they even do like, give me that one. I'll take 2. This is a very good rookie class of quarterbacks, and I think Tua was the last one to show it, and maybe that's why people don't trust him as much. That game against Arizona, though, man, I was like, holy shit, this dude's unbelievable.
I don't know if the poll's an indictment on Tua as much as it is, like you said, like Burrow and Herbert have just looked so good.
He has looked like Jesus, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. The thing about Jesus is he can read the blitz.
Yeah.
Like nobody else has ever been able to do it.
Gets the ball out quick.
And
some would
by
say
the way,
people were telling him before it happened.
Yeah, well, that, and when he hands that off, you should see what he does to the fucking line.
Yeah.
He creates holes. He makes the offensive line unbelievable. Just that. And then every once in a while, whenever he's like running, usually it looks like he's hovering,
floating.
Yeah, it looks like he's hovering.
And the best part too is that flow coming out of the back of the helmet.
Yeah, it's got good swag. People forget good swag.
Not to mention he throws a better 9 route than anyone.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus was the first real dual threat quarterback.
Oh yeah,
and
by far. Plus, right after the game, they go to the locker room, a bunch of water in there. Hold on.
Let's turn this into a party.
Let's drink some wine.
Bingo. Let's go to Reese in Ontario. What's going on, Reese? Good show, man.
Hey, fellas. Thanks for having me on the show. I can barely get through with my cell service living in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, where is he up near?
He's right near Saskatoon.
Okay, yeah. All right. What do you want to talk about? Thanks for calling us, man. Thanks for the grit and the persistence to get through, even though tech and potentially other callers and the busy signal was getting in your way. You hovered right over top of those things like great dual threat quarterback, and we appreciate you so much, Reese. What do you want to talk about, bub?
First off, I want to give Ty Schmidt a shout-out because I can't wait for Aaron Rodgers to beat the brakes off the Jags this weekend.
Yeah! Shoot it. This is a real
my
Canadian,
question is for you, Pat. I've been with my chick now for 5 years, and I'm thinking about dropping the knee coming up here. And I want to know some marriage advice on how to keep it cool at the household.
Well, if you don't know now, I don't think you should hit a knee. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if this is going to... Do you guys live together?
Yeah, we've been living together for 5 years. I'm confident we're going in the right way.
Oh, yeah.
So.
You're already married, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations. You're already married. What you need to do is just go ahead, take the knee, make it official, and let everybody celebrate the shit out of you guys already being married. You know what I mean? I think that is, now granted, obviously, my lady and I, whenever you get married, you make it official. You officially tell everybody and each other that you want to be a tag team partner for forever. You know what I mean? So it's a big deal. But I think my lady and I mean, I don't know if she felt this way. And I think whenever the whole pandemic hit and our first couple weddings, I was like, let's just do it next year. Because that's how I view it. I was like, yo, we're already married, dude. Like, everybody already knows we're married. We live together. Like, we're already here, you know? And she was like, she wanted to do it. She planned an incredible, like, 4th and 5th wedding. It was amazing. So I think she maybe wanted to get it done. I don't want to say over with, but for me, I've already felt like we were married for, like, the last 3 years or whatever, you know? So I think you're already there, dude. Just let everybody celebrate that thing. And your wife, future fiance here, I think will be very, very grateful. Ain't that right, Ty? Ty did the same thing. Diggs did the same thing.
Well, I didn't, but I mean, I did. I'm just saying the wedding thing now is seeming like maybe should have just done it then, but you got
engaged though.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, congratulations.
Did you feel the same way? Did you feel as if you?
I think that's how most guys feel.
Yeah, it's like, we're already married, dude. We live together.
But it is. It's a lot of work planning it and everything, and you should do it. So
yeah, just do it, pal.
All right. Thank you, Reese. Appreciate it.
Advice.
Gumpy fellow Canadian there. He's in love. You know what I mean? Hey, love is in the air up there.
Ooh. Nothing but support, pal. Just do it.
Let's get to the phones.
Feels as though.
We need a little positivity here. Let's go Pepe in Mexico. What's going on, Pepe?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey guys, how you doing? Happy fucking Feel Good Friday for you and the boys and everyone around the world.
Sí, muy bien.
Hey, happy Overreaction Friday for the AFC South leaders, my Indianapolis Colts.
Let's go, Pepe. Go win Super Bowl there.
I don't know. That's a little bit overreacting, but hey.
Well, that's what you just said.
Pepe.
Hey, senor, if I may I would like to give you a drop, my overreaction, and a question from one of the McAfee Mafia members that she's too shy to call.
Oh, what a hero, Pepe. Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's go ahead and do that.
So on Tuesday's show, I've heard you were concerned about people doing fake accents. Just to be clear, this is an international show.
Yeah.
There's people that are for real. They're the real deal, just like the OG of the international crew, our man Gumpy. So to prove this, here's a drop for you. So listen to it. Billy Tubes hit record. Este es el programa de Pat McAfee por el canal 82 de Sirius XM. No te lo pierdas de lunes a viernes de 12 a 3.
This is basically the Pat McAfee show, and these are the time and date.
Mucho gracias. Zito could not say that, but he could understand that, which is a vital weapon to have whenever you're traveling in places that speak a lot of Spanish.
International, baby.
But would be better if it was a two-way street instead of a one-way street. Yeah. But we get by. You know what I mean?
One-way streets.
You know, well, especially whenever we need a translator, and you could tell us exactly what they're saying. But boy, if we could send a message back that could really change things. And Pepe, sorry to interrupt here, but I have been with Zito in this situation a couple times, where me and Zito are with somebody who can't speak any English, but pretty vital job this person has. So they will speak to Zito in Spanish, and Zito will go like, "Sí," or whatever, and then he'll turn and he'll be like, basically he said we can't blah, 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 blah. So then I'm like, okay, and I'm at the point now where I don't even look to tell Zito anything, so I start talking to the guy, and I'm playing like Pictionary charades with him, and the guy's looking at me like, just tell your fucking friend, and then I have to like explain to him like, this is really difficult, sir. And then we have to do the Google, and then we have to do the sound, and then the guy will give an answer, and Zito's like, yeah, and he'll completely dissect it, and then the guy always thinks we're fucking with them, but it's real. Like, Zito can understand everything that's being said, but there isn't a chance there's any Spanish language coming back out of that mouth. Pepe, it's unbelievable.
Hey, you know how much I love my cousin Josecito Perez, my dear cousin there, but you got my number. They're cheap Mexican labor if you need a translator. So give me a ring.
Pepe, we appreciate you, man.
True life.
I don't know what his question was.
He never got
about the Colts winning the Super Bowl.
No, he said he didn't want to overreact that much. I bet you that's tough for you, right?
Oh,
like
man.
when it's potentially a little tough sounding our language. You don't even listen when it's just like obviously our language.
It's like trying to read a recipe that's in French. I mean, there's just no hope of me making the food correctly.
Yeah, bingo. Oui, dude. Let's go to Tyrell in Fort Wayne. What's going on, Tyrell?
What up, Pat? What's good?
What's up, man? Didn't we go to Fort Wayne? We were in Fort Wayne, didn't we? Did we do a show up there in Fort Wayne? Yeah, I did a stand-up show up there, didn't I? Jay, didn't I? Yeah, Jay's saying yes. Love Fort Wayne up there. They, yeah, that was a good time up there in Fort Wayne. We appreciate you up there, Tyrell. What do you want to talk about? I think, didn't I? Was that the boys and girls?
Could you see
Big Brothers,
maybe
Big
Aaron Rodgers going to the 49ers maybe next year or in a couple years?
Oh, great question there with Aaron Rodgers potentially being on the road. Fort Wayne was Big Brothers, Big Sister, and we landed in a tornado.
Correct, yes.
That's why I remember Fort Wayne.
I'll never forget it.
And ever forget it.
I mean, we had a sketchy landing this past week. That one was number 2, I think.
We'll forget it. We've landed in a tornado thus far.
Yep.
And a tropical storm. I mean, we are rolling the fucking dice. There's no reason for us to be doing it.
Hey, it's convenient, though. Those planes are nice.
Those planes are nice. Dude, shout out to the pilots making those plays. And by the way, I can already see this being like a freezing cold take.
Yeah.
Like when it all...
Convenient until you spin out on the runway.
Yeah.
But, hey, till then, though.
Yeah, we know it though. And by the way, none of it's possible without it. So
yeah,
exactly.
Hey, it's just part of the process, dude.
Risk you got to take.
Hey, you got to trust the process, dude.
Yeah, right.
Got to trust the process. Aaron Rodgers leaving the Packers would be massive news. It would be massive.
Hard not to see it.
I mean, it feels like there's a chance that's going to happen. Now, that is not coming from anybody inside Green Bay or Aaron telling us that or anything like that. But if you think about the short-term rental words that they basically called Will Fuller, who is a speed demon, deep threat. If you don't think that that helps out Aaron in an offense that revolves around passing, what are you talking about for the future of your offense looking like whenever you trade up into the first round and get a guy who's a great athlete, not that Aaron isn't, by the way, but younger, cheaper, could take more shots? Is the writing on the wall that Aaron is going to be out of Green Bay sooner than later? I mean, that is something that a lot of people can ask the question, and there's a lot of things that you look or can't, you look at it and you're like, these particular pieces of evidence here are leading to the thought that Aaron's probably out of Green Bay soon. And if he goes out of Green Bay, where's he going? The Niners, that'd be wild, huh? Back to the hometown there. They could have drafted him, though. They chose not to. Has Aaron gotten over that? We could ask him, but that would be a terrible question to ask a person that's in the middle of a season with another franchise. But I guess there are a lot of fan bases that have thought, oh, Aaron's going to be gone. If he was on our team, that would be awesome. And by the way, that's probably 31 franchises at this point.
I thought about it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Ben Roethlisberger, who knows how much longer he's going to play.
He's old, man.
Imagine Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers fans with Aaron Rodgers. Oh, my God. That defense that they have over there. Oh, my God.
It's already with the Steelers of the NFC, so you might as well come over and do that.
I mean, by the way, lot of similarities there. A lot of similarities. I would say that Steelers fans, by the way, Aaron, will be a lot more ruthless and rude to the people who oppose you. Like all these media people, that have been going after you for a long time. I do believe if you were on the Steelers, those Yinzers would not stand for that shit. I believe there would be loud voices. But the Green Bay Packers, like one of the most professional organizations of all time. So it'd be very interesting to hear where he went. Niners, obviously a possibility. Ooh. I mean, there's a couple teams that you think like they would immediately try to do whatever they could to get him in their uniform.
And he's already said he wants to play till he's at least 40. He's 36 right now. I mean, you look at the Packers aren't going to re-sign him probably. I mean, I don't know when they started talking about Brady in terms of him like losing it. I guess they did that with Rodgers last year. But like if you watch the games, he's still got as much fucking zip on it as he ever has. He may play till he's 50.
I think we talked to. I don't know if it was draft night or just one of the quarantine days there where we talked to him, and I said, hey. You're seeing Tom Brady get $25 million a year at 45 years old or something like that. Drew Brees, he's obviously older than you. He's getting $25 million a year. Phillip Rivers is older than you. He's getting $25 million. Do you look at that and you just go, like, man, I'm going to be able to just make at least $25, $30 million for, I don't know, another 10 years at you're 36 years old? And he was like, yeah, you obviously have to look around. Obviously you have to see that. And he takes care of his body better than he ever had. I mean, there is no reason not to think that, especially with how athletic he still is, that he can't play for another 8 years if he really wanted. Like, it's whether or not he would want to at this point.
And you see what he said on the show on Tuesday in terms of, like, tell how competitive he is.
Yeah,
that competitive. Like, that's not going anywhere. Like, it'll be, I think, if he were to retire early, I think that's something that's probably pretty difficult to replace, like, right after you're done playing.
Packers favored by 13.5 points at home against the Jags. Feels like a large portion of America is probably hammering the Packers here. Gumpy, you have some nukes?
Aaron Rodgers has never lost to a team with a winning percentage of .125 or lower.
Jeez.
He's 8-0, winning by an average of 18.4 points per game. And on 10 days rest, because they played on Thursday, he's 6-3-1 against the spread.
Yeah, so that's probably like a 20-point win, I guess.
Yeah, hammer it.
So far,
seems like Gumpy's nukes that were completely wrong last night. Completely wrong last night. Couldn't have been more wrong last night. You know what I mean? Seems like they are all the way back up.
May have found the target once again.
Might have got that. A little bit of misfire, dude. Jim Kong-un, bro. Sent a couple into the Sea of Japan.
It's going to happen,
bro. It's going to happen, Gump. It's going to happen, Gumpy.
Can't win them all, my friend.
Oh,
No, you can't.
we have been winning a lot, though. At Tone Diggs, what's up?
You mentioned what side the money is and tickets and stuff like that. So far, it's split right down the middle, 50-50, Jags and Packers.
Oh, really?
Very surprised.
That's because there's other stats that say like the 2-score favorite or dogs or covering. There's so many stats you can look at this. This is a classic field game. Like, do you feel like the Green Bay Packers, after the Vikings thing and after the Tampa Bay loss, 2 losses here in the first half of the season, do you think they're at the point now where they're like, okay, we don't play any games anymore? All right, like this is what we do, like they did last week? Or on Thursday night, which was masterclass, by the way, at football, or do they have a potential? It's the Jacksonville Jaguars and a guy named James Luton is playing quarterback.
Yeah, you got to watch out for Jake the Snake for sure.
No, is that Jake's Luton? Listen. Jackie Luton down there, they're saying he can play the football.
Oh, yeah.
Threw like a 75-yard touchdown his first pass last week.
By the way, that's what I'm saying. They get paid to play football as well. They are in the NFL. That's an NFL quarterback. Okay, he goes and plays pickup football anywhere. Oh, Jack Luton is #1 overall pick everywhere he goes for everything. He's very good at football. That's why any given Sunday is a very real thing. Just like the Steelers Cowboys. It's like, Gary Gilbert can get hot. You can miss a couple balls that you normally make and all of a sudden have a 3-and-out and they take advantage of it. I mean, that can happen. So what does it feel like? Does it feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to win by 20 plus? It does.
Yeah.
It really does feel like that. Not that it should. Who knows? Because the weather, if it is 50, rainy, gusty, it's hard to blow people out in those types of conditions. But also, just feels like they're going to do it. I don't know. I'm not
Hopefully
sure
he gets Lazard back this week. Jamal Williams is off COVID. Aaron Jones is, just another week healthier. So
yeah, and Aaron Jones, by the way, them saying he was going to play on a short week and he was maybe or something like that. Well, that was a lie as soon as his words came out. It was like, they're going to feed this guy for sure. They're not having him come back on a Thursday night game if he's not all the way ready to go. And he's unbelievable at football. That team's immediately better with him. Not just because out of the backfield. He's a wide receiver. That dude's a slot wide, like a legit wide receiver, like Lev Bell a few years ago whenever he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Real threat out of the backfield. That's problematic. And that's why Lev Bell was able to hold out in rap for a year in Miami. Put out a couple albums and then still get paid because of how good he was. Aaron Jones is having that type of year. Now, granted, being injured is not good, but that's the type of player Aaron Jones is.
It's also interesting they were giving him quite a few carries in the fourth quarter when they were up by like 20 points. Towards the end of the game. Like,
that was interesting.
Is this guy hurt? I mean, what the hell are we doing?
They're being careful with the cap.
Maybe just trying to get him back into things.
Who said that they were going to take it easy? Was that the coaching staff or front office?
I don't remember.
Because, by the way, we have been told that the coach and the front office were at odds about a little something during trade days.
And it may have been the coaching staff.
So if the coaching staff said it and then the coaching staff's playing him, that's problematic. But if somebody is like, Aaron Jones should be coming back, a source says at a high level that Aaron Jones should be able to come back, and the coaches are like, no, he's all the way back, bro. Come on. And we got to get the yards back that we missed on in the last couple of weeks. So fucking let's go, pal. We got a Pro Bowl to make. We got bonuses to get. Let's go ahead and run this thing. Let's take every dollar that is in that contract. What's up, Tone Diggs?
So it's potentially going to be the worst potential weather that you could have for football because it's going to be around 35. So there's calling for light rain rain/flurry, so it's like that rainy, wintry mix, which is terrible.
For Jacksonville, a team
80% chance of that. Wind is 25 to 35 with gusts over 40 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah. So this is like a 20 point. This seems like it's going to be 17-3 maybe early. There's going to be,
bad weather affecting Futon Luton much more than it is Rogers, too.
Oh, I mean, not a bad nickname there.
See, that probably sleeps on one, still a rookie.
Yeah. The footsteps thing never really caught on, but Boston Rob comes through with a goddamn home run.
Well, Footsteps has been there for years, so I don't know. That wasn't me.
It was you.
You should have seen. I mean, you saw him dancing in that graphic on Monday night. He is Footsteps Flacco. Almost called him Falco.
They had him in a Ravens. They had him in a Ravens jersey, right, for that thing. Now, granted, they were talking about his past, so like I understand that.
Yeah, well,
but it was kind of a. He's literally starting for the team that's playing right now. Those graphics are awesome, though.
They're wild.
They go deep in the paint. Bro.
Whenever they talk about Brady Super Bowls, he's in a Bucs uniform on those graphics.
Oh, yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Peyton Manning was in a Broncos jersey and helmet in every photo, basically. Still to this day, even though, a long time, there's a statue here. They tried their best to get him back. Like, hey, can we build your goddamn statues or anything like that? Yeah, for sure. I'm thankful for that. Yeah, still put me in the Broncos. Could have been a Colt. They chose to cut me.
Yeah. Worst loss will always be with the Buccaneers, not the Patriots. That's fine with me.
What?
Tom Brady.
What's his worst loss? Score-wise?
Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, you don't think the loss to the Giants in the Super Bowl is like the worst loss whenever you're an undefeated team?
It's
like
the greatest win of a different franchise. Hard to have the toughest loss be the greatest win. You got to have to tip your hat
exactly the way
you got to tip your hat to Eli.
Classic Boston
Rob. What a fucking idiot.
Tip your hat. Just like the Eagles.
Let's get to the break here. On the other side, we'll take some phone calls on this Feel Good Friday, the 13th of November. Can't wait to hear what you want to talk about. We got to cover some more stuff, too, like the games this weekend, maybe some more Masters updates. Big 12 commissioner, college football playoff delay being discussed, he says. Whoa. Whoa. Hey, lots going on in this Friday the 13th. We'll see you on the other side. Go take a piss.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He's a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Okay. Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. It's an embarrassing situation. The dap dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able to am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. Right now? Okay, let's do it. We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do. That's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. Last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go!
look like Ric Flair. That was a sellout, by the way. That was beautiful.
We have any other shirts?
Yeah, hold on. You need to go get changed before you get sick. Great work, Russia. That's it.
I'm actually not that cold. Hey, I went for it. My chest hurts. It was like 5 feet. I was standing there.
That's full commitment, by the way.
Oh, mama, may I? If you say you think you know, well, let me show you the way I go. Got a pop top, we can drop it down, take a ride on the way now. 'Cause we are young, feels good, let go, get down on the way now. I know.
You do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Yes.
Huh? Let's go. Hear that? They sent us merch, dude.
Good merch. CDs, too.
Did they? I didn't see the CDs.
Oh, yeah.
Where the fuck are you supposed to play this?
I don't know.
Your Walkman.
We got him, though. We got him.
Late night special. Save your money. Don't get fucking CDs, dude.
If they want to send me a record, that'd be great.
That is something you should.
Take a record.
I would love a record.
My wife plays the records.
Ooh.
It's pretty good. I mean, you can just. It's over.
Done with this.
It's a cool little thing. This song fucking stinks. Such an asshole. Just because it's fall, it doesn't mean it isn't time to fire up the grill.
Oh, yeah.
And enjoy some steaks and this song, bro.
Yeah, this one too.
Hell yeah.
Without a doubt, the best grills to possibly use are Traeger grills.
I love Traeger.
These things are a real game changer. You know why?
Why?
Because the Traeger wood pellet grill is the easiest way to enjoy wood-fired flavors.
That's the truth,
baby.
It's simple to use, so you can just set it and forget it.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if they had to pay for that line.
Shouldn't forget about your grill.
Dude, no. This set it and forget it used to be the
That's the Ronco roaster oven.
yeah, QVC.
The roaster.
I'll tell you what, QVC had a run there. There was ShamWow came out.
Yeah.
That thing was there. The set it and forget it thing was there for a while.
There was a samurai store where the guy stabbed him. Never mind.
Banger.
Anyways, set it and forget it is something now that when you hear it, you think Traeger.
Hell yeah.
Wi-Fi lets you monitor and control the grill from anywhere on Earth. And it has the versatility to do it all. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, barbecue, you name it.
Yeah.
You can even cook your entire Thanksgiving feast on your Traeger grill. Wow. Go to TraegerGrills.com/Pat and enter code PAT at checkout to score free shipping. That's TraegerGrills.com/Pat. Enter code PAT at checkout for free shipping. And by the way, shipping a grill, a lot of money because how big it is.
Absolutely.
Free shipping. Shout out to Traeger.
Nice.
TraegerGrills.com/Pat. Enter code PAT. Hey, by the way, great Christmas.
Good Christmas gift.
Perfect.
Great.
It's the buzz
Mm-hmm.
around the grilling biz.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
You said it.
TraegerGrills.com/Pat. Welcome back to the show here. Sidebar, please. Let's get to it. So we're going to do another segment today, okay? And I have no idea if the segment has an intro, if it has a video that can run or a graphic or anything like that. If you do recall, we tried this on Overreaction Monday, wanted to have a segment where we get listeners more involved in the show.
Right.
And some people can't call in because we don't have, we only have 6 lines. So, and don't always get to all the callers, obviously. So we opened it up to Twitter, and on Monday it was hashtag Pat, I don't want to overreact, but... Okay, that was the whole hashtag. We made a graphic for it, an intro video, a slide video, and everything like that. We go to intro that particular segment because we are a big segment show, obviously. And all of a sudden, boom, doesn't work, falls flat.
Yeah. Right.
Then part of the segment, Gumpy was part of, microphone doesn't work.
See you later.
So then we get to the whole thing. I mean, it was just a complete clusterfuck. A lot of shows rely strictly on segments.
Right.
Yeah.
We've never had one. We tried one. It failed.
Comedy varies.
So let me tell you something. In life and in this show, there are going to be times where you fail, but you need to believe in something.
Oh, hell yeah.
You need to say, hey, although the first segment was a comedy of errors and a litany of failures proceeded in about a 1.5-minute time period that maybe created the worst sports radio in the history of sports radio.
What?
Just days later, you get back up on that segment fucking horse.
Ooh.
Okay, you put your feet in the stirrup thingies, and you go ahead and say, ah! And you run. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second ever segment, really, that potentially has a graphic open and close. Hashtag Chat with Pat.
Let's go! Oh, yeah! We did it!
Sweet noise.
Woo! Sound like NASA back there.
Maybe we add Chat with Pat with it. You know, like maybe like voices in the back. But hey, not a bad opening graphic. Shout out Jay. Shout out Foxy getting that thing to run.
Good job, boys.
This morning I tweeted out, hey, we're having a good Feel Good Friday here with Dave Faraday, Trent Dilfer. And if you want to ask some questions, use hashtag Chat with Pat. We'll get you on the show. We did not trend today.
Well, that's Friday.
We went four times in 1 week though within the last 10 days, and I'll tell you what, good times were had by all. Good times were had by all.
Fantastic.
Hashtag Chat with Pat. Let's get to the first one, Foxy, shall we? Chat with Pat. Have you ever wondered if Palamalu was tipped off by someone internal that you were going to run that fake? Oh yeah.
Whoa.
You know me, Jake, okay? You've seen the way I tweet. You've seen the way I talk. You see the way I think at this point. I'd assume if you follow along. I've obviously thought about this a lot. A lot. Lay your head down on the pillow. You think to yourself, you know, I could be a person that has celebrated a touchdown in my hometown in front of almost all my family, and I could be an NFL touchdown scorer. There's not a lot of people that have done that. And whenever people want to come out and say punters and kickers aren't athletes, I'll go, excuse me. What position do you play? And they'll say some very tough position, and I'll say, I respect you. I want to let you know that. But in an NFL game, I have completed a pass. I've run for a first down. I've tackled. I've kicked a field goal. I've punted. I've kicked off. I've recovered an onside kick. And if I could have had on there that I scored a touchdown, I mean, that is basically what part of football have I not done at the highest level? Riddle me that. And it's all because fucking Troy Polamalu. So if you don't think I haven't thought about an inside job potentially taking down my biggest dream, obviously you don't know me that well, or I haven't voiced it. I want to let you, yes, I've thought that. But we learned via Samuel Brown.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Samuel Brown. Corn.
Yes.
Corn.
Yeah.
We learned from Corn, who had an interview with Polamalu whenever he was down at the Super Bowl for Head and Shoulders. Samuel Brown asked him what he did it, and he gave an answer. He said that when I came skipping on the field, my aura and energy was such, and it was so big, and he got a good read from it, okay? Then we talked to Ike Taylor, former teammate of his, and he says, no. He might have said that out loud, but the real answer is he actually has a baby Jesus in his helmet telling him plays. This is kind of how he operates. He is one of the most religious people of all time, and he was a human that was able to predict plays more than anybody in history, change games completely, and not only was your life ruined, there were thousands of others that he did that to, and nobody really understood, so you just got to expect that. So I'm not 100% sure what the reason was. Was it because I gave it away? I'm going to say maybe. That's a maybe answer. Was it because Jesus told him? Maybe. Maybe that's it. And maybe it's because somebody inside our building didn't want to see me succeed. And I'll tell you what, when I start thinking about that, it's a tough night. It is disappointing. It is heartbreaking. And ultimately, probably happened. Fucking shit! Fucking A. All right, what's the next one, Foxy? What do you got? Dilfer Dimes, man, it's going to be joining us in about 35 minutes from right now, or less than an hour. Hashtag Feel Good Friday. Is anything better than Taylor Lewan right-hand man? I don't think so.
No.
That was one of my favorite moments. Led off the show talking about the tattoo that Taylor Lewan could get. I mean, I don't think we officially agreed to a bet yesterday while talking about the tattoo thing. But he says he gets random tattoos all the time. If he wants to get it on there because the Colts beat the Titans after he said the Titans would beat the Colts, and they did not, and everything like that. And it was great Thursday night football game.
It was.
Great football. And by the way, Taylor Lewan not playing, potentially one of the biggest reasons why he potentially might have had to get that tattoo.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a, kick in the sack to Taylor. It's like, your team is not as good because you were so good. You're their biggest fan. It's tough to know that, God damn it, if we were playing, we could make another run at this thing. You know what I mean? Taylor Lewan was a big loss there. Taylor Lewan was a big loss, just like Marshall Yonda was to the Baltimore Ravens. And a lot of people want to talk about Lamar, and you can do that all you want. They're a different team this year than they were last year, and that's, I don't want to say mostly, but a lot because they had one of the greatest offensive linemen to ever play football in the middle of their line last year. Taylor Lewan, one of the best offensive linemen to ever play football. Whenever you lose that, that is a tough thing to fill, and nobody talks about the offensive line enough. So what we're saying is Taylor Lewan, right-hand man tat, awesome. You told us you get a bunch of random tats, awesome. If the Pat McAfee Show 2.0 ends up on there, we'll be grateful. But getting a dub against you guys was enough. You know what I mean?
Like you said, ironic twist of fate.
Because it is. And I almost wanted to tell him, like, hey, Taylor, I think you're going to have to get that tat because you and I are talking right now.
Yeah.
Like, you should be getting, like, you're so good at football. You should be getting ready for this game right now. You know what I mean? But instead, you're talking to us hilariously, which we appreciate.
Great conversation.
And I think, he's so humble, he didn't even realize that. He didn't even realize that. Oh, it's because,
without me.
See, imagine if he came out and said that, by the way. That would have been better than right-hand man.
Yeah, well, they have no chance because I'm not playing left tackle. So,
Foxy, what's the last one, pal? And hashtag chat with Pat segment that we have here on the show. Hashtag chat with Pat. Was your fourth down run against the Titans called or just reaction when the snap wasn't great and you saw open space? Oh, this is against the Titans. By the way, we put together a highlight reel.
Yep.
Against the Tennessee Titans. Foxy did. I'm very thankful for that, Foxy. I forgot about a lot of things that have happened in my football career, by the way. And that is, so Foxy sends me this video. We're playing today. He's like, hey, if you want Throwback Thursday, pretty cool clips here. And I started watching. I was like, damn, I forgot. I completely forget. And then I started remembering. I was like, oh my God, I do remember. It was pretty cool to kind of live. That's only like 4 or 5 years ago, by the way. Not that long ago.
Right.
And it completely forgot that I even played in the league. So watching those things made me feel good. And I put out the hashtag people forget. I want to let them. I forgot to. By the way.
Go on YouTube. There's an awesome highlight of Pat, and you see plays that you're like, wow, I completely forgot this even existed.
Is that that's where you get these clips from, I would assume?
Yes.
Okay.
Boy, Fox.
Shout out to that clip. Yep. Shout out to that. Shout out to you for even knowing it exists and doing that. But that was a bad snap, which Overton did not have a lot of, by the way. High right snap, caught it. As I was coming down, I noticed that my right wing might have been Jack Doyle because we were kicking right. We always put Jack towards the side we were kicking, which was definitely something that other people got a good read on. But Jack Doyle was so goddamn good, it didn't matter. But I think he went low, took the guy out. I saw a guy falling while doing it, and I was like, okay, here we go. And we were down at the time. Why not go for this thing? And I looked like an athlete. And it was very, very nice. And if I try to punt that with where I caught it at, it probably gets blocked anyway. So it was really the only option at the time, I thought, and it got a chance to be a real highlight. But it was awesome. And as I run off to the sideline, first of all, I grab an extra yard by extending the ball. I think they spotted where I went out, not where the ball is. Fucking should have challenged that. God damn it.
You were real jag off for that move. I saw it.
I was stealing it, dude. Yeah. Fucking stealing it.
Extra yardage.
Yeah, give me that. All right.
Game inches.
And I sprint right past the special teams coordinator, by the way. So the special teams coordinator, his name was Nate at the time. I don't know if he's still there, if he's coaching somewhere else. Good guy. He was my Senior Bowl special teams coach because the Jacksonville Jaguars were our coaching staff at the Senior Bowl. The special teams coach had just got fired. He was the assistant special teams coach. So he was our acting special teams coach, younger guy at the time. Super cool, Nate. I was field goal kicker there, but I would punt the ball every once in a while. And Nate was like, God, we should be telling people that you can punt too. I'm like, whatever. And then that's when the Cincinnati Bengals special teams coach, Darren, told me that I should never punt a football again because I was at the Senior Bowl kicking field goals. Darren, also good guy. but Nate was there. So everything we did against the Tennessee Titans ended up being right in front of Nate's face. And it's awesome. It was absolutely awesome for me, but for him on the other side, the look of despair every single time was just heartbreaking because I love the guy. You know what I mean? It's like against the Texans, I kicked an onside kick to myself or whatever. And if you watch that clip long enough, they go right to the special teams coordinator's face. And special teams coordinators watch so much film because they have to coach so many people, and there's so much shit that you have to cipher through. Like in your job, everybody knows special teams is the least important one of the three in the view of everything. So the amount of time you get on practice, it's like a tough. So whenever they zoom in on their faces and they're just absolutely just the Texans coach actually said, fuck me on the camera. Like when you see that, like for me, it's like, oh, like it's almost like I'm sorry it had to happen, but I ran right by the guy and actually go, whoa, like right at his face, knowing that the next 2 days of his life were going to be absolutely miserable. And I felt bad about that. I want to let that be known, but much better you than me, the whole thing.
Another one of those clips, there was like, it was an onside recovery, but you kind of kicked it like behind to a guy. Were you kicking that weird so it spun and bounced away?
So that one was it was like a mid-range spin thing. Yeah, that was a miss hit for sure.
Really? Right along the sideline, though. It stayed in.
And it bent around. I was supposed to get it deeper. So we had the only onside kicks successfully completed going into like maybe week 13 of the season. We had like 3 of them at the time. So we were facing people's hands teams. So the kickoff return style now, I've been told by people the reason why it is the way it is now with basically the hands team up, which is 8 people within 25 yards of the kicking line or whatever. They viewed a lot of the stats from the season where everybody was doing that against us because they didn't want to give up any onside kicks. But whenever you do that and you have 3 back and you have the 3 back deep, there's a big open space there. So the idea was I would hit that spinner, but it would stop and spin like kind of. So the idea was I could hit it, it would spin so much, and it would just like hit and spin like the Masters because they got a little soft ground. When it would just spin in a spot and we were to outrun them. So I missed, I don't know, by about 15 yards short or so, and it just so happened to bend right around the back of the guy. So it worked out perfectly. I come there jogging to the sideline or whatever, and Chuck McGowan was just like, act like you meant to do it. It's like, all right, you got it. It is, I got really lucky, obviously, in a lot of things, but hey, man. I was changing some fucking games back then. That was so much fun. I assume I was having so much fun that season. It had to be. And then, you get told like that you're a reason why we're losing in the building, and you dislocate a kneecap.
Yeah.
All right, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
It's hard to say it's lucky when, you were working fucking late at night. Try and make those kicks happen.
Late at night. That's the thing. You just got to go to work. You just got to go to work. Let's get on the phones. Hey, great segment, by the way. #Chat with Pat.
Good job.
Yeah, I don't know if we're allowed to play this, are we? That's the guy, though, by the way. He is, look, there's somebody in the back eyeballing him as if it was his fault. Okay, and then the guy right behind him, probably a GA there, he's like, this is going to be a terrible week of practice. They're going to make me write so many things today. What do you got?
That's literally right after he just says, fuck me.
Yeah, it is. Because that guy, by the way, used to be for the Steelers. So I knew him. Like, the special teams community knows each other pretty well. And it wasn't until, obviously, we watched it back that I saw that. And I was like, oh, poor guy. Poor guy.
When they first cut to him, it looked like he said, that was beautiful. Pause. Fuck me.
Yeah. And by the way, both accurate.
It was pretty.
Let's go to the phone calls. Man, it was nice yesterday, though. Fox, I appreciate you sending me that video. I completely forgot I played there for a while.
People forget.
Me included. I completely forgot. I'm like, oh, my God. All right, let's go to Armand in Chicago. What's going on?
How's it going?
Hey, not too shabby. Armand, did I get that accurate?
Armin.
We went to high school with a gentleman named Arpin. Good man. Arpin, yeah. And Armin, I should have got that. It was spelled differently, obviously, than Arpin's name, but I mean, that's Mitt and Armin having a conversation.
All good.
Armin, what do you want to talk about, brother?
I want to talk about last night. We saw yet another rookie wide receiver just go off in Michael Pittman. What do you think it is with these young guys that are just taking over the league right now?
It's very interesting, Armin, because it does feel like there has been a much smoother transition for these younger players in positions that they wouldn't normally succeed in. And I think it's because the offenses are starting to look a lot more like they were in college. Like in college, these kids are coming out, wide receiver, quarterbacks, they're throwing 60, 70 times a game. So these guys are getting a lot of targets. They're getting a lot of contested catches. They're getting a lot of situations to kind of work on their game. Now, does that mean it's going to be like this forever, where every young wide receiver is going to be great and every young quarterback is going to do well? No, there'll always be outliers because the way the brain works and everything like that. But it does feel like at certain positions, because of the offense that is being run in the NFL and the offense that is being run in college, which is similar, right? For a while there, college offenses were much different than NFL offenses. Then NFL offenses ran into a situation where the rules were changing for safety, and also offensive lines weren't being able to handle the old school NFL style traditional offense. So they started transitioning into what the colleges were doing. So now there's much more similar styles in college and the NFL. So I think it is preparing players in certain positions better for the NFL in a transition into doing so. Michael Pittman had a great game last night. I hope he can stay healthy. His fashion is one that, we're going to have to follow throughout his career. I do believe he will be a fashion guy, but he's going to be a weapon for the Colts. And I thought the Colts this past offseason needed to add a weapon. There was a couple big name receivers. There's a couple of that. Bringing him in, a lot of people from USC sent tweets, you're going to love him, you're going to love him. He played really well last night. But the young quarterbacks is also that conversation you want to have, Armin, because they are transitioning very easily at this point.
You also can't discount King of Fantasy Tony Diggs putting his blessing on Michael Pittman before the game last night.
Oh, yeah, because he benched somebody else, brought up Michael Pittman, fantasy football god.
Yeah.
Good job, Tony.
Tony Diggs.
Good call, Tony.
Tony, if you ever just want to drop like little gems, you don't have to help everybody, but if you just want to drop little fantasy football gems for our fantasy football listeners, I think they'd be appreciative of
I'll
it.
think about that for the future, yeah.
Hey, I'm leaning towards this guy this week.
I mean, I put Pittman on my FanDuel fantasy lineup, and I actually ended up in the green last night.
And Naeem Hines.
Won $40. And Phil Rivers. And Derrick Henry. And A.J. Brown.
See, big night for a lot of people. A.J. Brown could have had a much bigger night, too. That go ball immediately off a jump there, drop there. But that's going to happen, by the way. I thought he was going to get pushed out of bounds. The fact he stayed in bounds is unbelievable.
Out of bounds.
And then, by the way, he almost caught that thing. We're probably running 21 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
He almost just snagged the ball out of midair.
Yep.
He batted away from the other player as well. It was the most insane
There's
thing.
a lot of things happening at like 21 miles an hour there,
That was a big play.
Can't believe he dropped it. It's like the kid's speeding in a school zone.
Someone's grabbing me.
There's a lot going
Someone
on.
grabbing my arm.
There's a lot happening here. They make him look routine. Guys make it look routine, which, by the way, you're a professional, go ahead and do it. But the amount of shit that's happening in there should also be the talked about, I think. What's up, Tone?
No, that's what I was agreeing.
Any Masters updates over there? What's going on in the Masters world? Because, the patron observation posts are empty.
I know.
But the golf swings are on fuego. That's what the Masters is all about. That's what Augusta is all about. And David Faraday told us to try to Google map Augusta or whatever, and it'll be pixelated. He's wrong there. It is not pixelated, so it has changed a little bit, but it is a photo from last year somehow. It's not an updated photo. So very interesting situation going around there. Do they control Google Maps? Do they control satellites?
Oh, geez.
I mean, is that why the Masters is the Masters, or is it because golfers are performing like this?
DJ is still at the top at -8, tied with Abraham Answer, and then
The
Justin
answer. The answer.
And then Justin Thomas is -7, and then I did see from Tiger Tracker on Twitter, Tiger going off at 2:30, sunsets at 5:30. He thinks we'll be able to get like 11 holes in for Tiger today.
3 hours, 11 holes, by the way.
Better break out those glow-in-the-dark balls.
Who's got the time? 11 holes, 3 hours. People golf 18 holes a day. Who has the time? How do people do it? There was a guy that we knew that was playing 36 holes a day.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. How do you do anything else or get anything else done when you're playing 36 holes a day? How can you do 36 holes a day?
Doesn't make sense.
You don't do anything else. It's awesome.
Yeah, it really does feel like that is what it has to be, because golf takes up so much, and that's probably why I didn't dive all the way into it, because I do enjoy when I'm playing it. I enjoy the hell out of it. But for me, it's like you go to some parties. There's like beer pong. It's like I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. Okay, then I won't do it for however until. That's what golf is. It's like when I go, I enjoy it. I'm having a good time. But then I immediately afterwards go, that was 7 hours. Who has 7 hours? I don't have 7 hours. I wish I did though. It'd be cool to be a part of that the Champions League or whatever it is. The not seniors.
Champions Tour?
The Champions Tour.
yeah.
How old you got to be? 55? 50?
I think it's 50. I can check though.
Maybe that's when you have enough time.
Yeah.
Probably.
Your knees are like 50, so you should be able to get in there.
50.
60 maybe. Hey,
might be
knees could have got in there a long time ago.
Getting up there.
God. Anything else going on over there at the Masters?
That's all. That's all as of right now.
All right. Hour 2 is wrapping up here. I believe we have AJ Hawk on the other side.
Whoa.
We're not playing that song because I got to read something.
Oh, he's not traveling today?
He's not. His game got canceled.
Oh, you don't say.
He was one of the 15.
Sure. Yeah.
That got postponed for the weekend because COVID's running wild, brother.
Sure, he's bummed.
What was that about?
What do you mean?
Come on.
I mean, I'm sure he's bummed. He
Why
can't
do you
call the
do this
game.
stuff?
Today's show is brought to you by Omaze. Omaze raises money for charities across the world by offering incredible prizes and experiences. And so far, they've raised over $130 million.
Holy God.
They're giving away a custom Tesla Model X Performance and $20,000 to somebody who donates supporting the Juju Foundation.
Nice.
They still have that
Is
thing.
it somebody or is it everyone who donates
It
no
says
matter what?
They are giving away a custom Tesla Model X Performance and $20,000 with every donation supporting the Juju Foundation. That is not true, okay? They are giving somebody a custom Tesla Model X Performance and somebody $20,000 if you donate to the Juju Foundation, which is run by Juju Smith-Schuster, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting youth initiatives. Right now, go to omaze.com/Pat to be a part of that. OMAZE.com/Pat. Hour 3 is on the other side. You got 6 minutes. Go take a shit. I like the Colts even more now because Phil, people are saying he's inaccurate and he's like, like a lot of Billy McComas obviously said that, but also a lot of people around Indianapolis like the guy. I think last week he puts the ball like in a bucket if he has to. Like that is one of his strengths. So if he has time and he can digest the defense and he gets a chance to like pick some things apart, look for Mo Alley Cox. Is he playing tonight? Look for him to have a big night, I'd assume, because Jack Doyle's out. He's a tight end. If T.Y. is going to get loose, let's go. Is Michael Pittman? I like the Colts all of a sudden tonight. And it's Nyheim Hines' birthday. Assume he's going to get loose on a punt return or a kickoff return or maybe even out of the backfield. Okay, I like the Colts tonight all of a sudden. Let me tell you a little story about these statistics. Troy Polamalu, okay? Fucking Troy Polamalu. So we had a fake for the Pittsburgh Steelers that was a 100%er. We didn't even have a cancel the goddamn play because it was a 100%er. If we ever end up in this situation, inside the 7-yard line on the left hash, it is a 100%er that the C gap will be wide open and we will just part the C to the left. It'll be a touchdown. 100%er. We're playing in Pittsburgh, the city I grew up in. I grew up in Pittsburgh. I won the punt, pass, and kick national championship, AJ. National championship, AJ.
Congrats.
AJ, did you ever win the national championship punt, pass, and kick?
I think I got 3rd or 4th out of 4 at the Nationals.
I'm proud of you, man. Anyways, so we're there in that stadium, okay? A lot of McAfee's in there. A lot of McAfee's in Pittsburgh. I'm going to score my first fucking touchdown, night game, Sunday Night Football, I believe it was, right here, touchdown. We get into that situation, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is really going to happen. We're like on the 6 on the left hash. It's 4th and goal now. Field goal team's jogging on. I'm like, well, fuck, it's about to, I'm ready. I am ready for this to happen. So I get out there. I get down. Vinny's like happy for me. Vinny's like very excited. He's like, let's fucking go. Like Vinny's excited for me at this moment. I'm like, here we go. So I make the call. I forget what it was. So I start saying it, right? And everybody's looking at me like, okay, bright eyes. Here we go. Let's get after it. Offensive linemen are dead ass tired. They do not want to be in the middle of a field goal anyways. So they're just like, all right, I don't give a fuck if you die here, but this should work. Let's get some points. And all of a sudden, I go through my cadence, I call it, I get down, and Troy Polamalu's fucking ass goes ahead for however long his career was at this point. I think it was like 9 years or 8 years at this point. Not a once has he ever gone to this side of the field over here to the left and stood right in the C gap. Never. He lined up exactly where he had lined in film 100% of the time. And then as soon as I got to like the second cadence right before set, he just bounced his little ass right over to the C gap. And I like stopped everything I was doing and I literally just looked at him. And I gave him like a, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, why are you there right now? And then I stood up and said, we are kicking it. We have to kick it. We are kicking this. And then I get down, and Vinatieri kicks it, and I jog off the field. And Chuck Pagano comes running up next to me. He's like, hey, good job. What you see? I said, what did I see? Palamalu just fucking went right into the goddamn C gap. What did I see? What did I see? And he goes, okay, sounds good. Good call then. And good call then. And then Vinatieri's like, hey, way to go, buddy. I'm like, way to go? Are we not going to talk about how big of a fucking asshole Troy Polamalu is for what just happened right there? So that's...
I saw the angel of death waiting for me in the C gap.
It's unbelievable. What, you thought I was going to run him over? No way. He's probably going to strip me and score a touchdown the other fucking... That's Palamalu, bro. That ain't just your backyard football with your son. These are professional fucking athletes. He'd probably jump over the lineman, pick me up, and run me into the other fucking end zone if he wanted to. That's what he would have done.
The hard-hitting safety of his generation, too. I mean, Ed Reed, great cover safety. I don't know that you would have feared him, but...
Ed Reed, I would have feared Ed Reed. Yeah, if I saw Ed Reed in that C gap, absolutely. E.D. Reed, boy, the best safety you ever seen, boy. I ain't doing shit to Ed Reed.
No, Ed Reed would have made the tackle. I'm saying that Polamalu would have shaved years off your life.
Oh, my God. Patriots, -11. Hammer that thing as hard as you possibly can. I am a guy that moves lines with this bad boy. You know, me and this guy here, this hammer, we've been making money together for a long time. Super, maybe. You whip out your hammer and you swing it not only like a windmill dunk, like a son of a bitch, but you swing that thing to try to break the button on the FanDuel thing, and you hammer the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It finally made its debut on ESPN, and I'm proud of this fucking office store hammer.
Hell yeah.
I like them all over Baylor. Good hammer Okie State #1. Hammer the Red Wolves +5.5, -14.5, and hammer -34.5 for. Oh!
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello! Hour 3 of this Friday, November 13th, Pat McAfee Show here on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio begins right now. Thanks for that beat drop. Bye, Twine. Before we were joined by a man who's a college national champion in football and a Super Bowl champion in the football, we have an update on the Masters from our friend Tone Diggs. By the way, the Masters, the Super Bowl of golf is happening right now in November. Diggs, what's the update that you have, pal?
Update, currently Abraham Answer is in the lead, tied with Dustin Johnson at -8. They were Abraham is through 15, Dustin Johnson is through 13, and then right behind them is Mr. Thomas at -7.
Hey, they said, don't question the answer.
That's right.
Okay? Don't question the answer.
That's right.
And Abraham said, excuse me, boys, part the C's here. I'm coming through with the goddamn bag.
Hell yeah.
Augusta. Abraham Answer tied for the lead with Dustin Johnson. Tiger Woods tees off in about 26 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yep, bingo.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hall. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? How you doing? You a big fan of the Masters, aren't you? I know you had Faraday on.
I'll tell you what, bro. Every year when the Masters comes on, I think to myself, you know what? I love golf. I watch it. I take naps to it. All right, I watch incredible plays, the incredible moments, and then as soon as the Masters kind of falls off, I get about a week away from it, and I completely forgot that I said that I love golf.
Yep.
The Masters does do something to people. It almost makes everybody interested. And I tried to ask David Faraday why, and I think it's just because if I got his answer right, it's the only time where they're at the same course every single year. So it's become this mystique. And then obviously the members there are Peyton Manning, Roger Goodell, and Rob Manfred. They're following around Tiger. I mean, it is a wild time to be alive. And with 15 college football games being postponed or canceled tomorrow, including the one you were supposed to call, I think the Masters numbers are going to go up as long as Tiger has a good afternoon here.
Yeah, it all depends on Tiger, don't you think? I mean, the Saturday, Sunday viewership, of course, there's going to be a ton of people that are going to watch, but what is it, triple, you think, if Tiger's in contention on Sunday?
I would assume
at least.
I would assume 300% because you're going to have a lot of channel flippers, right? I would assume there's a lot of channel, or there was going to be at least 4 SEC games canceled or postponed. 4 of them. That's a lot of SEC. Alabama not playing. What's that?
What does Connor think of that? It just seems kind of fishy.
What do you mean?
I mean, AJ, it's very early to get into this. I just hope that the health of all the student athletes is okay, really, before we think about football.
We don't care about, listen, we're having this conversation strictly for the ratings of the Masters or whatever. Our first thought whenever we hear about these games being postponed is we just hope they survive.
T's and P's.
We hope everybody survives. And, we hope it's okay. We hope everything's good. But with that being said, 4 SEC games out, another 11 games out. I mean, there's a lot more channel flipping, I think, to the Masters than there potentially would have been if it was a stacked college football lineup. Not that it's not, there's still good games, but I think a lot more people would be a lot more interested if old Eldrick, the jungle cat, was murking around Augusta.
Yeah, obviously. And what's weird how they do the coverage too. You can watch like all the different paired. There's different groupings you can watch and play all day online or on ESPN Plus, and then it goes to CBS on the weekend, but ESPN carries. It's weird how it's split up. I guess I think the weekend is different than the first 2 days. Isn't it?
Yeah, I wonder if Masters. Yeah, I don't know. I would assume CBS potentially has the weekend, but maybe you just said that now because I was trying to figure it out. Did they just business-wise say, yeah, whoever wants to get in can get in this year? Because, I mean, College Game Day's down there.
Yeah.
Scott Van Pelt is doing SportsCenter down there for the last 3 nights. It's like the Masters are like, all right, we're going to miss out on a lot of audience, okay? But we can use this as an opportunity to grow the sport, grow the tournament, get more eyes on it. So let's welcome in a bunch of people. I'm always intrigued how that works because they always say it's incredibly impossible to get in there. And now you got ESPN there, you got CBS there, the Golf Channel's doing stuff there. I mean, it's a lot. And obviously, they're hoping as a sport and as a tourney and as a club down there that the biggest names are playing well, and it feels like there's some big names playing very well. And that could all change in 23 minutes.
Yeah.
That could all change.
But, okay, the Masters figures everything else out. Like this historic course, everything's whatever. They don't let people in. Like it's so hard to get a membership. But why do you start Tiger at 2:30? When it's going to be dark 3.5 hours later? Why do we do that?
It was because of the delay from the rain.
I know, but can't they work it? Can't they make? I don't know. Can't they find a way to work it around till everyone gets their second round in?
Hey, listen, fucking right, dude.
You can't
Why
argue
don't you go down there and take over the Masters? Why don't you run the Masters,
dude?
Why don't you run the Masters, dude? Why don't you run the Masters?
But if Tiger, let's say he gets 12 holes in today, we're not going to know if he makes the cut until Saturday.
Well, which, by the way,
I mean, the guys,
he's going to be 12 under.
No,
he's going to make the cut.
No, but that's good for the Masters because now you definitely have Tiger playing on Saturday regardless. True. So maybe that's why they did. Maybe the big brains over there, somebody had your idea, like, hey, let me throw this out here. We need Tiger on in the day so that we know if he made a cut. And they're like, even better. Even if Tiger has a bad day, we still make him have to finish at least 7 holes on Saturday. What do? We just cracked into the Saturday market with Tiger, whether or not he has a great second round. That feels like the right business play. That's probably why they did that. Thank you for getting us this conversation, though, AJ. Your input led to that conversation. That's probably what they said in the groupthink meeting, if I had to guess.
And it'll be teeing off probably right as game day starts. So game day will also have to split their coverage following Tiger finishes his round.
By the way,
that's incredible.
If College Game Day just gets a chance to travel around with Tiger, what a legendary College Game Day that could be.
Well, doesn't this make perfect sense? I feel like this had to be set up, or it should have been set up if it wasn't. So they're thinking, all right, Saturday we have big head-to-head competition with college football. So yes, we bring game day down to remind our football viewers that, hey, the Masters is happening. Maybe we'll pick up some extra viewers. But then they're also saying, hey, how do we get Tiger to play as many holes as possible on Saturday, on the weekend? So he might be playing 26 holes, and they're going to show every single shot on Saturday.
Let's have him tee off. What time is the sunset? 4:30. Let's have him tee off at 4. Well, that'd be obvious that we're doing it. Okay, all right, 2:30, whatever. Can we pack the house in front, though, so it's a little traffic, so he has to go slow? Yeah, absolutely. Very interesting. And it's, by the way, I don't know if it's good for golf or bad for golf that they're that. I don't want to take shots at him. But Tiger, I mean, for how long is Tiger going to be the guy? You know what I mean? Like, at some point, somebody else is going to have to captivate the nation or the world, and it's going to be tough to be the next guy after Tiger. A lot of people have been dubbed that early. You know, Rory was it. Jordan Spieth was it for a while. Dustin Johnson was going to be it. Brooks Koepka was going to be. There's always there's a lot of people that were going to get deemed the next. Ricky Fowler, I think, was bringing his own fan, and then he finally won or whatever. There's a lot. Oh, now we got DeChambeau down there. Like, there's a lot of people that are getting there. It's like, okay, who will ever be, and will there ever be? Maybe not. Maybe there won't ever be.
Look, if you try, like, all those guys are unbelievable. They are, and they all have had great runs. But if you try to compare their, like, what they have done in their careers to what Tiger did his first 15 or 20 years, whatever it was on tour, like, no one matches up, it seems like.
David Faraday said he's the greatest golfer to ever golf. Anybody that argues is just not watching golf, pal. Just like LeBron.
Exactly.
Let's go to Grant, Ohio. What's going on, Grant? Nothing from anybody. That's
true.
I mean, we just can't.
There's no argument anymore.
Nothing.
No, there is.
No, there is. That was me literally just tossing Foxy out there, like a little bit of an alley-oop for him to come in, and nobody even said anything, Fox.
You were talking about who's still playing, though, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on, Grant?
Not much. Just hanging out at home after a nice long 24-hour shift, guys.
Hey, we appreciate you, sir. What do you do for a living?
I'm a firefighter paramedic.
Oh, sir. Thank you. We appreciate you, sir. We have first responders in our family. We're very grateful for it. We saw plenty of Christmas celebrations where old Uncle Owen would get a beeper and a buzz on his thing, and he was gone Christmas, Thanksgiving. He was a firefighter. We have EMTs in the family. They do the same thing. So we appreciate your sacrifices for our society. I've seen it firsthand. It's a lot. Very thankful. 24 hours is a long time. I assume you're going to pass out. Good luck on the other side of this thing coming out of your coma. What do you want to talk about, brother?
So with the salary cap allegedly changing next year and lowering, I was wondering if you guys think that players will take a lower pay cut because they're feeling good with their team, or if they will go where the money goes.
Grant, situations are situational, pal. And I don't know. I don't know how else I could answer that question. Is there some people that'll be like, yeah, I'll stick around here because I think we're close and let's win a Super Bowl, and you're probably going to cut, I don't know, 15 players that nobody would have expected to be cut because we're $125 million over the salary cap? Maybe somebody will do that, and they'll look around and say the grass doesn't appear to be greener anywhere else. Maybe. But a lot of guys, you have to recall and know that their careers aren't that long. So if you're going to get a lot more money somewhere else, it's like you have to have that fine balance of, yeah, this is the right thing to do football-wise because it's going to be a much better life. It's going to be a lot more fun. We're going to win. But also, this amount of money is, that's a lot of fucking money. I mean, it depends where you come from, what you do, how you view things, and where you're at, apparently.
Depends how good you are, too, don't you think? Like, it depends what level of player you are. You're a superstar, you're still going to get paid whatever. You can go and kind of pick your team or make your kind of make the choices yourself. But I'm just thinking, like, what if I think it only affects like the top end dudes. Like, I don't think it affects many like below them. The top end dudes, actually, they're going to get whatever they want. The middle tier guys will definitely affect them a little bit. They may get some less money, but I think the guys that are like Dak, if he gets a giant deal, like, that's going to be the same that it would another year. I don't think so. I think they will have to change it. Well, they'll have to set it up like they have Mahomes' deal, where like the first couple years are low or whatever because they don't know what the rebound. That's why it's great to have guys like Andrew Brandt that know, and Lombardi, they know how like you can be creative with the language in your contract to free up space like when you need it. Like it's very confusing. These guys are very smart that put these contracts together and try to stay under the cap. Yeah, let's make everybody happy here, okay? We're happy with you here and not spending this amount of money because we got to do this. You're happy because you want this amount of money. All right, let's figure this out. How about for the next 3 years, you get paid like a rookie, but then afterwards, you'll get paid like a billionaire. Oh, so I just got to play 3 more years, probably win 3 more Super Bowls potentially, and then I'll get billions of dollars on the other side? Yeah, exactly. That's what this contract says right here. Oh, I'll sign it. Yeah, now we can sign everybody else on our fucking team too for the next 3 years. That's what the Chiefs did for Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, hey, you're going to get paid next to nothing here for the next couple of years, but good news for you, you're going to have a team around you. Now, I will let you know here, in about 3 years, your team is going to be tough. It is going to look a lot different, but hey, fuck that. We'll cross that bridge whenever we get there, pal. But yeah,
yeah, there's going to be a lot of big names cut, released. It's going to be very interesting to watch. That's like J.J. Watt. We talked about this the other day. Everybody's like, he's going to get traded. He's going to get traded. I think it's like $17 million against the cap. If he gets cut, Houston Texans owe him nothing. Like, I think J.J. Watt is worth a lot of money. I think J.J. Watt is worth a trade. But if you think about this, how teams think about it, I think he's going to end up getting cut. Houston saves that money, and then he has the world at his fingertips to go wherever he wants. Now, JJ has not told us that, anybody else, but that's just one of those situations where you're going to see a lot of big names get released because the salary cap's going down so much. He will be one of them, I think, and I assume there'll be others that we go, what? Whoa, he fucking got cut, huh?
Jimmy G.
Not Matt Ryan, though, because they owe him $100 million. He's not getting cut from anywhere.
Hey, don't you think it's like positional too when if you're talking about guys chasing money, or like say you're a free agent on a team, if you're a receiver, the smart receivers realize that, hey, if I'm on the Chiefs, if I have Patrick Mahomes, a young stud quarterback, if I have Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback, I'm going to take a little bit less to stay here if this team still wants me, instead of going somewhere else where I know the quarterback is not nearly as good, because your whole life depends on how good that quarterback is if you're a receiver.
And by the way, that is good long-term thinking as well. If I have this great quarterback and I take a little bit less money, let's assume in 2 years, 3 years, my price is going to be worth a lot whenever I go there. Now, I have to remain healthy. I have to perform. There's a lot that's on there. But that's also, hey, that's a little chestnut checker situation if you really want to dive into that thing, pal. Let's get to a phone call here before we get to our first break of the third hour. Let's go to Lee Battle down there in Starkville. Lee Battle, what's going on, pal?
Cuzzy, boys, Mr. Hawk, happy Feel Good Friday down there.
Hey, pal. Hey, thanks for calling down here.
Hey, Cuzzy, so we know that you like to set up office athletic events around the office there.
Office Olympics.
You ever thought about setting up Oklahoma drill and trying to transfer some of Tone's CTE into Connor?
Yeah.
Wow, I got
automatically assuming that Diggs would win an Oklahoma drill against Connor is very aggressive, I think.
It's not, but
Diggs is an athlete. Listen, Diggs is an athlete, but I saw him run. I think he ran 15 yards. He broke his foot. Remember, he couldn't even walk for 2 days.
It was a fade route. It was sweet.
Yeah. Connor would have the most energy in the Oklahoma drill, which I think at this age would bode well for him, for anybody.
Just thinking about the Oklahoma drills, get my loins going. I feel pretty good about it.
Getting a little tilt in your kilt, bro?
Yeah, a little bit.
Too old for that shit. I'd break his shoulder immediately.
Yeah. Did you probably were part of plenty of Oklahoma drill throughout your life, I'd assume.
It killed so many people.
Well, yeah, when I was young, like growing up, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, we call it hamburger drill. Did you do it where you lay on your backs and your heads would touch? And they just blow the whistle, and whoever can get up the first and just kill the other guy?
And what's the other one? Bull in the ring or something like that, where there's just one person in there, he has to get out, and he's just trying to get out, he's just getting killed by everybody. I mean, there are some drills that I've witnessed and been like, is that making us a better football team? They're like, yeah, toughs them up. I'm like, well, that one person for sure is potentially getting toughed up, I guess. But boy, he also could be dead, that guy. There was this one time we did they transformed the Oklahoma drill into like O-line, D-line, linebacker, running back, and then wide receiver corner, because it used to just be one, boom, boom, how's it going? And it evolved into that drill, which I don't know the name of it. I played running back one time, 1-for-1, touchdown scored. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Let's go.
Yeah, no big deal. How you doing? Let me get it there.
That was in college?
Yeah. The NFL, they wouldn't let me even look at that drill. Wouldn't even let me. If I'm tackling anything, I'm landing on a crash pad. There's an entire. Don't even run sprints. We don't need your pull hamstring. Just fucking sit over there, okay?
Kick the ball.
College was a little bit different. You know what I mean? College was a little bit different.
Sounds like a pretty good gig to me.
Yeah, if you do well. I mean, if you hit a 17-yarder and they get your next one blocked, even though it's not your fault, you're probably done with a job.
Would they run Oklahoma's in NFL?
I don't know. Shauna probably did.
Remember the Bengals did it on Hard Knocks. They did it, and I remember because I think Roy Williams, the safety, I just remember him complaining to Marvin, like, come on, Marv, I'm not doing it. It was his first year with the Bengals, and Marvin's like, it's what we do. And I thought we were going to do it my season in Cincy, and everyone was talking about it. And then Marvin, I don't know if it was the first year he didn't do it, but yeah, we did not do it when we put pads on for some reason.
And what was the feeling? You dreaded the thought of having to do Oklahoma drill, I'd assume?
I mean, I thought it was stupid. I thought, like, after 3rd grade, like, I get it. How is this helping us as a football team? But then if I'm going to do it, like, I have to survive. And to survive, you have to try to kill everybody.
We got to get to a break. We're back on the other side Friday the 13th here on Mad Dog Sports Radio. don't even know what that means.
Great
West
movie.
Ham. The Hammers.
Great.
It makes
West Ham
sense.
United.
We're the
Why is
Hammers.
Connor here?
Connor, what do you got?
Look, man, okay? You bet against Bill Belichick last week, and he came down and he broke that fucking hammer. And now you're going to come in here and you're going to bet on the fucking Jets on Monday Night Football. What the fuck? What the hell? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What happened? That's not gonna happen. Do not believe this fucking bullshit. They will not lose 5 in a row. They will cover. I can't believe the gourd on you to fucking do that after last week. God damn it. With that being said, I also like at plus 9,000 Damian Harris to score a rushing touchdown and to score a receiving touchdown. 20 to win, 1,800. And if you bet on the fucking Jets, let me know, because you're fucking wrong and you're losing money tonight. Damn it.
What a promo.
Hammer.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. 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 Oh, wait.
There's a grown man with face paint on. So you're Big Nut.
I am, and you're Little Nut.
Well, I've had a few of those in my life. Hey, I'll tell you what, Big Nut. I hope to find you one day on my wedding night. Big Nut!
Little Nut!
You did a great job, too. The lines are straight. No DUI problem there. You're really doing a great job here, sir. Hey, Big Nut, I love everything you're about, bud.
Because we are going to win the game.
He just spit in my mouth while saying that. The most likely team to make the college football playoff is the team that is in Columbus. He said khakis are way too close to that team from up north. If you don't put black pants on right now, you're going to get booed out of Columbus. So I went with the black. Makes me look thin. And whenever I say 2 letters, the place goes crazy. OH! Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie George. That offense, though, led by Justin Fields. He has 41 touchdowns accounted for, only 1 turnover. I don't know how he isn't the Heisman favorite right now.
Well, he certainly has a chance to make a stick at that today, certainly next week.
He's supposed to be at Penn State, and then Mike McQuarrie told me I wasn't Penn State material. Okay, Herbie was your quarterback. He was a senior. You were a freshman. What was he like as a teammate?
Oh, he was great, man. Big shoulder pads. Kurt could run for days back in the day.
We have a guy that can break every single bone in my body. Steve, how you doing, boss man? They're down to 6-1. She wants to flex on the gram. He says, lady, we are getting slaughtered by the Pittsburgh Penguins. No. I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Oh
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Had to happen. AJ, you know this song?
Is this Year of the Buffalo?
He does. He knows.
He knows it.
Oh yeah, the of course it's the 4-minute intro song. I know.
Come on. Come on. It's art, dude.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Yeah, you're goddamn right.
Tell Trent he'll be on later after we listen to the full song.
Trent likes this song too.
Yeah.
Hey.
They're running out of the tunnel with this song.
What's that, bud?
They're running out of the tunnel with this song.
Sweet as honeydew. What's that, AJ?
Better start it early if you want to run out the tunnel.
All right.
Not a bad song, just needs some more BPMs in there, man.
For a talk show. What was that, AJ? What were you about to say? Yeah, you were really about to...
No, I really didn't. But you said talk show. No, Zito was talking about running out the tunnel for a game.
Oh, okay, yeah. But you're saying more BPMs for that, and maybe potentially it's not supposed to be on a sports talk show, but it's so good I have to listen to it.
Good song. It's a good song.
You're the Buffalo Ohio River there. Joining us now is a man who's the head coach at Lipscomb Academy down in Nashville, Tennessee. I have their merch on because their merch is maybe the best merch I've ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach Trent Dilfer. Come on, buddy.
You can cut the sleeves off that if you want.
No. This thing is awesome. I've never seen a hoodie like this. It's got the scallop bottom. I mean, this is maybe the best piece of merch I got, pal.
We got more coming for you. We have cut off hoodies that I'm getting ordered.
Are they performance? Are they performance? Because I'm a performance guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're a big performance guy.
How's the team doing? How are we? How's high school football? What has the message been to the team? Is it over? Did we get through COVID? How are we handling everything, Coach?
Sorry if my screen's all messed up.
No, you're good. You look good.
We won our first round of the playoffs 63-3.
Let's go! Can't believe they scored on you guys. That defense needs to tighten up, Coach.
Well, it was actually, you'll appreciate this. You can get on Phil Dawson about it. We've been unbelievable on teams this year. I mean, unbelievable. Except we had all of our third-string guys in on punt return, and they did that little rugby-style rollout to the right on a 4th and 18.
Yeah.
And we all covered. We were holding up and the punter ran for the first down that allowed them to kick a 48-yard field goal to score the 3 points. Otherwise, we would have shut out.
So I'm pretty happy about that. Way to go. That's good for the brand. I mean, bad for your team, good for the brand. I'm happy that the punter and the kicker said, listen, we are not getting shut out here tonight against Lipscomb Academy. When's the next game? Tonight? Do we play tonight?
It was supposed to be tonight. The team in the second round had to cancel because of COVID. We found out yesterday. So pretty disappointing, but that's the world we're living in.
So what does that mean? They lose or?
They lose, we move on.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I feel bad for those kids. They're high schoolers, but good for your kids.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We'll play in the semis next week.
Okay, so you're dealing with it at a different level. College football this weekend has 15 games being postponed or canceled or something like that. Has it been incredibly difficult to really do this thing? Like your team obviously didn't have to cancel tonight's game, but your team could have been. I assume that is kind of like the thing, like it could happen to us or whatever. How have you been able to handle it? And are you surprised that 15 games are being postponed this weekend in college football?
Yeah, I got asked this a lot early on. I think the challenges of high school and college are very different, obviously. College is you're dealing with kids crossing state borders. You're dealing with an older age group. I think we talked about this last time I was on the show. And they're getting tested on a regular basis. My daughters are college athletes, and they're getting tested 2 or 3 times a week. At the high school, there's no mandatory testing, for one. So you're not getting the asymptomatic kids. We did an incredible job, our administration here, of making sure that we set a bunch of protocols in place early on. So we sprayed everything that the kids could ever be around with microbial spray that immediately kills the coronavirus. We've since reapplied it. It's cost tons of money. This stuff's really expensive, but our administration has leaned into that. Our families have been really good about following the protocols. We structure practice and meetings and all that stuff in certain ways to make sure the kids are moving around, open air, open spaces, yada, yada, yada. Everybody knows the drill. We've been dealing with this forever. But I feel like we've done as good a job possible. Now, we've been perfect. No way we've been perfect, but we've done our best. We've had a few isolated cases at the academy. The contact tracing was thorough. It didn't affect our football team except for early in the summer. So I think kind of how we structured it early on has given us a chance to get this far.
That's awesome. We appreciate you doing that. And shout out to your kids also buying in, because they're going to have to do that for this whole thing to work. Now, let's transition to the NFL a little bit, which you had a lot of success in, know a lot about. your guy Tua, and I only say your guy Tua because you were the one tasked with, and not tasked with, you had the incredible opportunity to be the guy who he worked with before the combine, before the draft and everything like that. After coming off of a hip injury, he finally gets his start. First game as a starter, he kind of has the handcuffs on him, only throws for 93 yards. The question, is Tua going to be an NFL quarterback, was not answered in that game, right? They won, but it was not answered. This past week against Arizona, and I think the reason why not a lot of people are talking about how good Tua was is because they potentially didn't watch that game. He was awesome. The decision making, the moxie. There was moments of leadership. There was moments of everything. There was toughness. He was looking to hit somebody at times, and he answered. Kyler Murray, who also has these same intangibles, so the future is very bright. But Tua in specific, he looked unbelievable. And I would assume that you expected that. Is that something that Dolphins fans should be like, yeah, this is why the move was made. This is why he was pick 5. This is the guy that he is on a regular basis.
I really do. I think he's going to have some ups and downs, like all of them have. Less downs than ups, obviously, if you're talking about Burrow and Herbert and now Tua. These rookie quarterbacks are pretty phenomenal. Yeah, I thought what I was most impressed with Tua was his eyes. And I think I've said this about Burrow and Herbert too. You know, they're so settled. They're so calm. And, AJ, you can speak to this. I mean, you've played against them. Usually young quarterbacks are frenetic and their eyes are bouncing around. They're not quite sure what they're seeing. The game moves so fast. Maybe what you prep for in practice isn't what you're getting in the game, and you kind of see that those frenetic eyes by the quarterback. And I thought Tua was very settled. He manipulated the defense with his eyes a few times. On that final touchdown pass, he's obviously got a zone beater to the left, a man blitz beater to his right, and he starts off left and immediately recognizes the difference and rips it on the back shoulder, and they get the touchdown out of it. So just little subtle things that I look for in young quarterbacks to see kind of where they're at in the development progression, and he's far beyond his years, as are Herbert and Burrow. It's pretty phenomenal. You talk to Drew Bledsoe and I were texting, and we're just blown away by how advanced these quarterbacks are year in and year out. Coming in, I used to be, sit the young guy, let him learn from somebody else's mistakes. Don't let him get too much scar tissue. Wait till your team's ready to have success. And I'm wrong. I mean, these guys throw them out there, throw them to the fire. They're advanced beyond their years, and they're showing you why they're big time picks, franchise type players, and will make $500 million one day playing the position.
Trent, I know you have a relationship with a ton of coaches and players throughout the league. And I love how you describe. You said, well, obviously, he had a zone beater back on the backside and a man beater on the front side, like anybody else knows that when you watch the game. I could just see Pat's brain just getting upset and saying, "Did you assume that people know that?" But when it comes to offensive play calling, I guess who do you think's doing the best job with a young quarterback, like first or second year guy right now? Because I think that has a massive impact on an offense, let alone a young quarterback, if you have a legit play caller.
It's a great question. I would go with Pep Hamilton in L.A. with what he's doing with Herbert. You go back and you watch the Oregon film, and they kind of ran a hybrid spread. When Herbert was at his best, when he was pushing the ball down the field, he's those piercing throws. So everybody can know what I'm talking about, like that 15 to 30 yard.
There you go.
We call it a 1.5 ball. It's a rip shot. It's not a lob shot, a Russell Wilson 45-yard shot. It's in the second layer of the defense. You're over the linebackers before the safeties.
In the windows there, there's windows there you got to throw the ball into. Those close up quick out there, by the way. Close up quick.
He was phenomenal at Oregon doing that. And what Pep's done is he's built a lot of this passing game where they're mimicking those types of throws. I like that he's getting them kind of the half rolls, the max protections, the bootlegs. He's not having to check a lot of protections at the line of scrimmage. It's not, 5 out all the time where you might be looking hot one way and having to work a concept the other. He doesn't have to deal with a ton of eye candy. He's getting them defined looks. He's letting them push the ball down the field, supporting them with a good run game, and taking advantage of his talent, knowing that he can develop them over years of more the graduate level reading of defenses and reading of fronts. I've been really impressed there. I was a little skeptical on Cliff Kingsbury and the air raid going to the NFL. I think how he's adapted the air raid to some NFL principles. I saw him a couple weeks ago. They played 3 tight ends in the game. They're in a jumbo formation. They're bootlegging out of it. I think they've done a nice job with Kyler of making sure he gets enough spread stuff so he could utilize his incredible athleticism, but also some traditional stuff where you can protect him and let him push the ball down the field and support him with a strong run game. So those are the two that jump off or jump out at me. And then, again, I'll go to Green Bay. I mean, everybody wants to jump off the bandwagon every time there's a stinker, but I think this is an incredible marriage, Matt LaFleur.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that Aaron still gets enough of his spread stuff that he loves. He loves to spread you out, control the line of scrimmage, have it be his show to run. I think you got to allow him to do that, but you also got to protect him. You got to let him take those shots and do the misdirection, play action stuff. And I think he's completely bought into it. He actually looks like he loves it. But I like that blend. I think there's something to be said of keeping defenses off balance by running a lot of different stuff offensively. And I like what Green Bay's doing that way.
That's what I always saw, too. That's why my playbook was thick. Tone Diggs, what do you want to think, pal?
Trent, Mike Tomlin came out today and said as long as everything's good, Big Ben's going to be back tomorrow for their walkthrough and then play on Sunday. And they'll have an extended walkthrough tomorrow so that Ben could go through some more stuff since he didn't practice this week. Does it matter when he's been in the league this long? Does it matter that he didn't practice this week at all?
I think it matters a little bit. I wouldn't call it a huge thing. I do think these guys, at least I was this way, and most of the quarterbacks I talk to, you want to keep your timing. You want to keep your rhythm. There are little nuances to the passing game that you need to work. Practice is important. It's not like you don't have to go to practice as an NFL player. But a guy like Ben, I think 1 week, it's not going to be a huge deal. Now, if this keeps happening, like if who was it last week? Stafford missed the week, right? And then came in and played.
Yeah.
I think if that happens multiple weeks, you could really get set behind. I think you'd fall into a situation where you just kind of lose your rhythm and timing in the passing game, especially. I do think with 2 walkthroughs, he can get the game plan digested. He can understand the different checks they want to make. He can watch all the film on his own, so he's fully prepped from that standpoint. And his body, at that age, probably needed some rest. So long-winded answer of saying I don't think it's a huge deal this week. I think if it happened more than 1 week, it could become a problem.
Well, let's hope that there's nobody locker mates of his out there sucking down COVID whenever they can. Not that they know. Tom Brady, one of the worst games that have ever seen Tom Brady on a football field be a part of primetime television. Older quarterback, legendary quarterback, GOAT quarterback. I assume that you assume. No, I don't know what to assume with you, but he's going to have a massive week, right? Like that what happened last week will be something in your eyes that he will remember and will not happen again. And why is it feel like for instance, there's a bunch of stats for Aaron Rodgers after a loss, like how he performs the next week. And I would assume that there's the same type of stats for Tom Brady after a loss, how he performs the next week. What is it about those games? Do they wake you up and be like, okay, not just me, but we got to all buy in a little bit more? Why does it seem like there has to be? And I was a part of a team that needed some wake-up calls, and I don't think I even really, what in your eyes, why does that have to, Gary Gilbert almost beat the Steelers last week, and the Steelers are undefeated, and you know what I mean? Why do those games happen, and why do people come out on the other side of it, ready to take over the world?
Well, I think we're all naturally lean towards complacency. We lean towards being comfortable and, smelling the perfume that people are pouring on us. I think we all have to fight against that. You guys probably recognize that as professional athletes as well.
Yep.
And I'm not just saying from the player standpoint, like a team. I think one of the reasons why a Brady and a Rodgers and probably a Breeze, and I'm sure some stat geek can look all this up, that they respond so well after a bad performance is because they become the moral voice of reason in the locker room. They become the moral authority. Coaches' voices go dry, as we all know. I mean, I can't tell you how many times Tony Dungy gave a speech that I fell asleep in, and I love Tony. Or Brian Billick tried to give us a rah-rah, and we were rolling our eyes. I probably do it here at the high school level. I probably come out with my big, theme of the week on Monday, and half the guys are like, shut up, Coach. We don't want to hear this. I mean, coaches' voices get drowned out. Players don't. Especially Hall of Fame players. And I think when Tom Brady goes in that locker room or that film room on Monday and starts saying, hey, this isn't how we roll. You better pull your head out of here. You know what? We got to get this thing going. I think it has a little more juice to it. I think Aaron, when he calls out a teammate, or not a teammate, but a side of the ball, or heightens awareness, or gets guys on edge, you're going to get more out of them. I'm a big believer. I know I was this way as a player. I've seen it as a coach. I've seen as I've studied the game. Teams play better when they have an edge. It's how to get them to have that edge. And I think players typically can create that edge more than coaches can. And I'm guessing that after a tough performance, whether it's by Tom Brady, the whole team, whatever, that he sets that edge real quick.
Do you think about that when you're speaking to your team? Like, all right, we're in the semifinals now. They've been checked out of you, huh? Is that what your thoughts are?
I choose my words carefully. I try not to talk too much.
Smart.
I've really tried to learn from my years of being around the game that when you want a message shared, when you really want to hammer something home, you have to create moments to get it across, and you got to choose your words carefully and not give them too much. I had a player come into me this offseason, and he said, "Coach, man, I love the year. It was unbelievable, changed my life, but half the stuff you talked to us about, I didn't have a clue what you were talking about." So I got way too esoteric last year, way too big picture. This year I've tried to keep it really theme-centric, really tight, empower my team leaders to kind of build off the messaging. And, I'll probably talk to them real quick on Saturday to review the game, set a theme for Monday, and then in practice maybe 2 different times for 30 to 90 seconds. Try to keep it any more than that, and they're going to tune you out.
That's awesome, because now whenever you speak, it's much more important. It's like, hey, that guy over there, he doesn't speak much, but when he does, we should all listen. Did you say esoteric back there a couple sentences ago? And what is that?
It's a big word for me. I looked it up before the show today. So kind of means out in the clouds, big picture, thoughtful.
Really good.
Crushed it. Yeah.
Hey, that's a really good word. Zito's filled with big words, too. What do you got, Zito?
Oh, yeah. Trent, you're the only quarterback in history to ever get ejected from the game. Were you scared to punch, was it John Randall in the face?
Johnny Randall. Well, I obviously wasn't scared because I did it. I was crazy.
Oh!
I was kind of a hothead. That was back in the days when he would study your bio and talk. You'd be at the line of scrimmage, he'd be telling you about your sister and your mom and your wife. And Johnny and I became great friends later in our careers when we played together at the Seahawks. But he was talking all kinds of smack. He'd got me around the knees earlier in the game.
Come on.
I was getting frustrated. I threw one of my idiotic interceptions that I did often at that point in my career. And I don't know what got into me, but I tried to punch him in the face through his face mask. Shows how smart I am. And he laughed. The greatest part about it is I can vividly remember it was on their sideline around the 35-40, I think, and I'm throwing punches at a face mask like an idiot, and he's laughing at me. He's got all this black paint on his face, and he's cracking up because he knew he got in my head. It was a long walk from that sideline to the tunnel on the opposite end of the field as they kicked me out of the game, let me tell you.
I'm watching the NFL films about it, I believe, where they showed it all happen. You were on the Bucs at the time, it looks like.
Yep.
And Chris Carter, John Randall, Tony Dungy, and everybody that's speaking about this is laughing hysterically while describing the situation. That's tough. All right, good for you. It was your throwing hand, too. That was really smart.
Yeah, that was really smart.
Yeah. AJ, what do you got, pal?
What was it like, or who was the first person you saw in the locker room? And when you were in there, were you throwing your helmet? Were you kicking things? Was it like a movie?
Yeah, I went in through a fit, and our security guy kind of tried to come from. We had played golf a little bit, the security guy and I. So they kind of sent him in with me to calm me down, and then it took me about 5 minutes, and I was like, "What did I just do?"
Yeah.
That's got to be one of the all-time dumbest things. And then, sure enough. That Monday in film, everybody's talking about it would be on NFL Films one day as a blooper or something, and sure enough, it is.
It has its own special.
Punch.
Good luck in the semifinals, Coach. We appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you guys, man. It's a fun show. I've been watching it a lot. Love it. Me and my oh, by the way, is the right-hand man the funniest thing of all time? So I'm thinking about getting my first one over Christmas break. But, man, he's got me thinking about the right-hand man. He was at our game the other night. Taylor's become a big Mustang football fan here in Nashville. He was at our game the other night. So might honor him by getting a little right-hand man.
We read your tweet question earlier in the show with the segment chat with Pat, and we all agreed with you as soon as he brought that thing out. Because I called him, I'm also thinking about getting my first tattoo as well. You and I are potentially in the same mind space when it comes to that. In the mustache, I remember seeing a guy in college. He had this mustache on his thing. He was the coolest dude of all time. I was like, if I ever get a tattoo, that's what I'm going to get. So whenever he goes like, oh, it's yours, like claiming the mustache, I'm like, all right, Trent, all right, Taylor, I just want to let you know, like, you're not the first human ever to do that. And then out of nowhere, oh yeah, how about this one? And it was just like such a dunk on me. It was awesome. It was perfect, and it's brilliant.
It was, but your call on Faraday is one of my all-time favorite people. I'm a huge golf dork, so your call on him on the NASCAR Indy racing was spot on.
Thank you.
Way to kick him in the chop.
What do you think about the Masters, man? Obviously, are you a member? You're like the type of human who could. You're a quarterback in the NFL, Super Bowl champ. You are one of the people who they'd be like, yeah, you could potentially. Now, granted, you did try to punch a man with a helmet on, so I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not a member. I'm a member of some other pretty cool places, but. I'm a golf fanatic. I haven't played in a couple of years because I tore my rotator cuff, but it's one of those times of the year, obviously usually in the spring, that you mark it on the calendar. My family knows not to bug me that weekend. So this weekend's a little weird. We have it on in the coach's office downstairs. When I get off this, I'll go watch a little bit of it. But it's a special week, and I like how David explained it. I think it's when you know, as a fan, when you know what's coming, because it's at the same course every year, and they talk about how the players every single year have to face the same challenges of the wind on 12 and choosing clubs 8 or 9 iron, and the narratives build on each other every single year. I think it adds to the drama of a game that can be kind of boring on TV if it doesn't have a storyline.
It's normally great napping for me, but the Masters is something that you normally stay awake more often than not. We have an update because Tiger has teed off. Diggs, how is the Jungle Cat doing down there?
He's still on one, so he has not completed a hole yet this round.
Oh, but he sounds like he's doing great. Ladies and gentlemen,
putting for birdie.
Semifinals of the state championship happen next Friday night. Head coach of Lipscomb Academy, Super Bowl champion quarterback, Trent Dilfer.
Yeah! Let's go, coach.
Thank you, Trent. Appreciate you, man.
Yo, get him now.
That sucks for those kids, those high school kids.
Blows.
On the other team.
Yeah.
Seniors, you know what I mean?
Takes all of us.
What was that spray they were talking about?
Yeah, he's got the COVID
spray.
What was that? Did you hear that? He's got a spray that just kills coronavirus.
He has the cure for COVID. Aerosol 4. Wow.
Can we talk about that? Literally, while he was talking, we were all like, wait. We were missing something.
Is it the things, Pat? Remember, was it, where were they doing that before COVID got here to America? Remember they were driving down the streets and spraying down whole, city streets?
It was Italy, I think.
Italy or France.
I think it was happening in Italy, the video that was really going, but probably Wuhan as well. And if you look at the Home Shopping Network or QVC late night, they had this AK-47 that was doing the same spraying thing about 2 months into the quarantine. They were like, hey, you don't have to battle this anymore. Get this AK coronavirus killing machine. And it's like this old lady holding like this, the biggest water squirt gun you've ever seen in your life. And it's just spraying half the house. And it's just like, disinfect everything. Like, go ahead and do it. Those are available. And shout out to Lipscomb Academy Mustangs for probably being the authority on that.
Yeah, they got them in bottles. They don't need the big hose.
Like they got hairspray out there. Let me open the store. All right.
Code's gone.
That NFL commercial, they have those things where it looks like the smoke sprayers that you use for bees to calm down bees.
Oh yeah.
And they're like spraying the whole stadium with that.
Yeah,
that's that.
Yeah. Does that work? I'm sure we know now, right?
Apparently it does.
By the way, I was watching the news last night.
Oh yeah.
It feels like it's day one of COVID. Like it feels like it's day one. The way it's being talked about is like the way it was being talked about the first week of it or whatever. And I'm, what the fuck? Have we not figured anything out in the last 6 months? We don't know how to treat it at all. Like what's going on right now? The panic that was being talked about on the news last night. By the way, I'm in my own world on a regular basis. Last night I saw Lester Holt, NBC Nightly News, and it was like it was day one again of the goddamn COVID. I'm like, are we dead again? Like, what just happened? And then you hear England shut down, France shut down, Germany shut down, things are going back. It's like, have we not figured this thing out at all? So we know less now than we knew day one, because that's what it feels like right now. Are we okay? Is football going to survive? Because honestly, in my meathead, Brent, I would like to know what's going on, AJ.
Well, I think Chicago, I think Monday they're starting like a shelter-in-place deal they're going back to. And I know the governor of Ohio came on a couple nights ago, and he basically just gave a warning like, hey, over the next 7 days, you guys better tighten it up or we're going to be locking some things down. Like, it was not a great message. Like, okay, all right, well, hopefully we can figure it out in 7 days.
New York Post just tweeted that made it into my timeline that Anthony Fauci's new tips are do what you're told or something like that. It's like, oh shit, what is going on here?
Massachusetts also taking a few steps back.
Do what you're told up there. Hey, it's going to take all of us, all right?
It's going to take all of us.
But a part of us is the doctors. Have those motherfuckers not figured out any? We got the best scientists on earth. Have we not figured out how to treat it at all? I feel like we have, right? Because there's a lot of people surviving this thing. And what, that we just forgot about it? That isn't happening anymore?
Absolutely.
What is going on?
Crazy world.
I think I know.
There's definitely people worried about college football and the future of that.
Yeah, I guess the Big 12 commissioner came out and said that the college football playoff delay is being discussed. So that's already being in the conversation. Because I'm sure, maybe we should put the Big 10 presidents in charge of that.
Yeah.
Let's go to Zach up there in Moose Jaw. What's going on, Zach?
Nice.
Oh.
All right, boys, what the fuck's going on this Feel Good Friday?
Hey, not too shabby. You guys been locked down up there since the jump, Raj, right, pal?
Fuck, we've been locked down and we got a foot of snow now.
Oh, go out there. Yeah, catch some snowmen, yeah, they're running around out there. It takes all of us, including them. Yeah, and a couple moose there, too. Hey. What do you want to talk about, bub?
Just a quick question about the Colts. Why is the usage for T.Y. Hilton been down this year? What's going on?
He was out the last couple of weeks with an injury, but beginning of the season, there was a lot of questions on whether or not Phillip Rivers liked T.Y. Hilton last night. I think he was targeting him a lot. The Colts are a lot better when T.Y. Hilton gets the football, and I think that is just a known fact. So I hope that continues, but I think he was injured, and then early in the season, something was up. He said he had a conversation with his grandma. He was back, so I'm not in the building. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know T.Y. Hilton is a weapon whenever he's playing good football. Let's go to Julian in Louisiana. What's going on, Julian?
Hey, Pat, boys. How you guys doing?
Not too shabby. How are you, pal?
Pretty good. So I actually do have a football question, but I think I'd be remiss if I didn't first shout out my best friend, Aaron Lewick. He's getting married soon. We're actually going to the...
Julian, I don't give a fuck. Let's go to Adam in Vermont. Adam, what's going on?
You gotta be kidding.
Hey, how's it going on this feel-good fucking Friday?
You're not too shabby, Adam. What's going on, dude?
You're getting married, Adam. You getting married, you got to shout out to a buddy?
With all their rookie contracts next year, would you think that they would actually release a lot of those guys to free up some cap space for, J.J. Watt or maybe a Julio Jones?
The Packers are going young, bro. I don't know. The Packers seem to be going young. I think, now granted, maybe they have a change of thought after they go on a run this year and say, hey, maybe we should continue to ride this horse. But it feels like the Packers are one of the teams that are going to go young. And I would assume if you're a Packers fan, you know that's happening and you're still not exactly thrilled about it, just like trade deadline just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Bro, everybody's got a fucking story, okay? I don't need to...
Yeah, but that's Aaron Merrick. He's getting married this weekend.
You're so rude.
Bro, come on. Who's rude? That son of a bitch who got a chance to come on here and chat and decided to shout out one human when we got a bunch of people listening, and there's other people, phone callers just sitting there. Do you think I'm the rude one, or do you think Julian in Louisiana is?
Ruining the damn show, AJ. It's a feel-good Friday.
If I don't do that right there, okay, then what? Every human that gets on, hey, I want to give a shout out to my second aunt. She's
a teacher in kindergarten.
Kid pooped his pants. She wiped it for him yesterday, and now she's getting a Medal of Honor.
Shout out.
That'll happen every fucking day.
Kick rocks, buddy.
I can't do it.
Hey, I didn't say you were wrong. I was just worried because if I had a drop button, I would have hit it before you did.
Okay, yeah. Which you're saying, if I'm starting to act like you, maybe we're wandering into troubled territory here, is what you're saying. Yeah, I got it.
Possibly.
Let's go to Craig in Maryland. What's going on, Craig?
Hey, Pat.
Oh, I don't care.
How's it going on this Feel Good Friday, huh?
Everything's good, Craig. What do you want to talk about, bub?
Craig.
Well, just seeing AJ's jawline just makes me happy on this Feel Good Friday on Friday the 13th. So I'm glad to see this face on the TV here. But Just want to do a mini shout out to the Blue Dragons for Ross Patterson and his kids this Saturday for the shift. They're going for it.
Oh my God! See that?
God damn it!
I sensed it.
What did we just say?
I sensed it as soon as he started talking, didn't I? And I was doing it as a joke, but I did have a little bit of a sense there.
You knew.
I got to stick with it next time. Okay, we got a terrible shout out to something irrelevant coming right down the fucking pipe, is what I felt there from Craig.
I wonder if Mitt queued that guy up.
Yeah, we'd have to question the guy on the phones at this point.
Gumpy. Damn. Gumpy's like, I'm barely even allowed in this country. We should let this guy out of the building at this time. Yeah, you think Mitt is masterminding that? You're out of your mind.
You never know.
Hey, talk about the Blue Falcons.
You got any shout outs?
Wait, one more. What was that, Ty? Can you say that again?
Dude, talk about the Blue Falcons.
He's so happy-go-lucky back there. That kid is the picture of ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
He's a hard worker, though. That son of a bitch works his ass off, so that's weird.
There's a great chance Mitt may be in the CIA, man, because he's playing the perfect front for a guy that's not in the CIA.
Yeah, by the way, now that you've put that in there, tonight I'm going to have to dissect that entire theory to make sure it's not true. Let's go to William in French Lick, the home of Larry Bird, the hick from French Lick. What's going on, pal?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, not too shabby, pal. How are you?
Good. Hey, just wanted to send an invitation to Ty Schmidt. He talks about being a Big Ten angler. Well, I was a MAC angler repping Ball State when old Billy McComas was there.
That's what I'm talking about, William. Maybe get you two out there on the fucking pond.
Yeah, no thanks, dude.
Is that the worst string
This show sucks.
that's
dude.
ever happened?
Show absolutely sucks.
Kidding me?
Speaking of this show, it's sponsored by Shady Rays, which is an independent sunglass company. So they're not just some big corporation that overcharges for the shades. Everyone knows sunglasses are way overpriced. Shady Rays out to do it differently. Premium polarized shades at a fraction price at a big name brand cost. Shady Rays also provides 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed, and have provided over 10 million meals to date.
Wow.
They stand behind their products so much so that if you break or lose them, their incredible warranty will replace them no matter what happens. It doesn't matter if you
break them.
Doesn't matter if you call into a show and it's so fucking bad, people take their glasses off and break them over their thighs because it's so painful to hear what you're saying. They will replace them. Shady Rays stands behind their product. You will love these things. And right now, use code McAfee. You'll get 25% off any pair of shades at ShadyRays.com. That's ShadyRays.com. Use promo code McAfee for 25% off. ShadyRays.com, newest and best brands. That's the show. It's been an okay week. Bad callers. Chris Mad Dog Russo is next with Mad Dog Unleashed. It'll be better than this. Have a great weekend. Hey, great show, buddy. Why didn't that guy call in? That guy should have called in. I'll tell you what, AJ, I can't fucking do it with these callers being like that.
Goddamn kite flyers.
What was the last one about? I know he wasn't like congratulating anybody, but that may have been the worst of the three.
An angler.
Well, you invited Ty, who's a Big Ten angler, and Ty went to the first day of angling thing so he could get the title of a Big Ten.
I was a Big Ten angler.
What is angling?
Fishing, dude.
You're from fucking Boston.
Yeah, it's fishing. Why is it called angling?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. It's like crew instead of row, but that was the worst one. William was a good guy though. He wanted Ty to go, cast some shit or whatever.
Shoulder by shoulder.
What the hell?
Do you fish at all?
No.
You'll have a busy life once COVID lifts. You're going to be at A-Rod's house probably for a few months out in Malibu during the off season. You got to go angling with old William, whoever that was.
Bro, how about that elevator down to the beach?
I know.
Got to get married?
Yeah, you do have to get married.
Yep. Yeah, I won't be going angling though with that guy.
No.
I don't really like fishing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you just did it professionally.
It's boring.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Went to the meeting. They were like, "Hey, it's $50." I was like, "Okay, no thanks."
People love fishing, dude.
Fishing's fun. I like fishing.
You like fishing?
Yeah, I do
You didn't know
enjoy
what
fishing.
angling was.
My dad likes
because it's called fishing.
My dad likes fishing. People love fishing. I can't. Obviously, I can't do it, man. I can't do anything that takes a little bit of time. But I can't do it. Who has the time? Who has the time?
I say all the time, like catching fish is fun, but I'm not catching. I'm out of there in 4 minutes.
Oh, you get out there on a boat and just troll for trim, my friends.
Yep. That's not what that means. What he just said. Hey, bro, trolling for trim is not fishing. You know that, right?
It is where I come from.
That's interesting.
It does
Like
work.
Empire.
It does work with both, I feel like.
If you have a boat,
Yeah.
that's a nice boat. Potentially troll for some shrimp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The boats that he was working on, though, were like, what, the deadliest catch boats? Is that what you're talking about?
Fishing with dynamite.
Especially with those nukes. Hey, let's go through these games real quick. Let's make a pick on these games, shall we?
Do it.
Bills at Cardinals. Cardinals minus 2.5. First reaction, you go.
Do you want me? Am I picking with the spread?
All right, Bills at Cardinals.
Bills. Josh Allen. I didn't get to it with Trent Dilfer, but he said Josh Allen is a top 10 NFL player, not just top 10 quarterback.
Seahawks at Rams.
Seahawks right away.
Ravens at Patriots.
I would like to say the Patriots can do it, but I think it'll be a close game. Ravens take it.
Okay, Bucks at Panthers.
Bucks all the way. I think this is rebound game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Chargers at Dolphins.
Great game, great battle. I'm getting this one to the Chargers. I think Herbert gets it done.
Yeah, me too. Bengals at Steelers.
You want me to say Bengals?
You won't.
Do it, dude. They paid you. Did the Steelers ever pay you? No. Unbelievable. You're going to turn your back on it.
Bengals are winning this one. They're going to find a way.
Wow.
Bold.
That sounds like dumb. Texans at Browns.
Ooh, I like the Browns here.
Me too, actually. Eagles at Giants.
Oh, boy. Oh, man, that's not easy. Eagle. I mean, I'll take the Eagles. I think Dane Orlovsky, he loves Carson Wentz, so I'll ride with him.
By the way, forget it. Washington football team at the Lions.
Oh, Lions. Matt Stafford, let's do it.
Jaguars at the Packers.
I mean, okay.
13.5 is the spread. How do you feel?
I think the Packers win, the Packers cover. But, hey, this year in the NFL, who the hell knows what's going to happen?
Hey, and also some weather coming in there. Could be tough. Broncos at Raiders.
I like the Raiders here. I do.
Okay. 49ers at Saints.
Saints all day.
9.5 is the spread on that.
I don't know. They may not cover, though. I don't know if I would take 9.5.
Saints win. Niners cover.
Ooh.
Just gave 2 bets out there. They're very nice of you. And Vikings at Bears Monday Night Football, I believe.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna take the Vikings. Even though I think it might be tough for Dalvin Cook if he can't have another hell of a game like he has this whole year. It seems like it'll be tough to win, but I think Dalvin finds a way and they get it done.
Okay, and we should clip this for you to post out on your socials. You just picked every game this weekend. That's pretty good little piece of social content, AJ.
No, I'll be all right, man. We got it right here.
He's right.
Hey,
you do got it right here.
When you're right, you're right.
I don't claim to be a prognosticator, Pat. I don't claim to be a guy that can pick games. I do it when asked from you, but it's not something that's my specialty. I'm not diving into and studying each game.
But from an esoteric perspective, the thought is, if more people could see your picks, it would be better for maybe this show because then the people know that you're right. You know what I mean? So then there's a chance for more people to learn about how big your brain is. And that's strictly from an esoteric point of view. Whenever you zoom out big picture, how's it going? You know what I mean?
Rebuttal?
Yeah, from 30,000 feet, that's how you view everything.
Bingo.
Like a giant.
Hammer Dons in 28 minutes and 30 seconds. We'll be giving out all of our picks. People should learn how to make some money this weekend. And my Super Boost has officially been added to FanDuel Sportsbook's app for the weekend. I feel good about this one. We'll get back into it. I've won 4 out of the last 6 on these. The odds have been boosted more so than anywhere else. Let's go ahead and make some money on that. I will announce that on the Hammer Don podcast in 28 minutes. Also, to all of our McAfee Mafia members, we have officially lowered the price from whatever it was down to $199. Yeah. That means though that we refunded your last one though. You have to re-sign up as a member. $199. You'll be getting the same content that you were getting at $5.99. The same emotes. You will not have a store discount because that would put us into the red. Okay, can't do that. Yeah. There'll be more exclusive content and you'll be supporting the hell out of the business and getting messages from us throughout the week. And we appreciate the hell out of you for it. So if you want to sign up for that, we'll be grateful. Hammer Downs in 27 minutes. And AJ, have a great weekend, brother.
Thank you. You guys too.
Hey, be set apart, dude. Takes all of us. Hashtag.
What does that mean exactly?
You know what it means.
Be set apart.
The apart is the for the COVID. That's why the other team, they would just be set and they set apart. So that other team loses tonight because they got COVID.
That's right.
Lipscomb Academy goes on to the semifinals.
How's that?
What's up?
not a great way to end your high school career if you're a senior. That kind of sucks for those guys.
We were talking about that during a commercial break. Like that really, we celebrated obviously for the Lipscomb Academy boys moving along, and congrats to them, a 63-3 win, then a week off, and then a chance to go semifinals and the finals. But that other team, that sucks, dude. That just absolutely sucks. Your high school career too. You guys are probably a pretty good fucking team in the quarterfinals of the states. Yeah, well, turns out can't play. Sorry. See you later. Just found out yesterday, too. So those guys thought they were playing all the way until Thursday of the week, and then it's over. But, hey, 2020, it's going to take all of us. Watch news. It's day one again. Let's act like every day is our first day on the job, okay? Let's give maximum effort. Could die tomorrow. First day on the job. Let's enjoy the hell out of this. AJ, thank you. All the boys, I appreciate you. All the watchers, thank you so much. All of our guests. Have a great weekend. I think I'm on College Game Day tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Let's go. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. Should be a good time. Feel free to watch. It's from the Masters. Tiger Woods is golfing right now. That should be fun to watch. And Hammer Downs in 26 minutes. That's